Welcome!
That's so cool. Hey everyone, I'm here with the D&D group, the Broken Misfits, and this is the As Promised origin story where we kind of dig into maybe a little bit of zero sessions and backstory, but most importantly sessions 1 through 10 that weren't recorded, and unfortunately we are missing someone today, but I've got a little bit of information for him to share later, Ryan or Otar, but we'll go ahead and start over here.
I play the character of Dandy Handy. He is a very handy dandy man. He's about a 6'2", curly ginger bard. We're talking just fancy skin, elegant features. His normal outfits are usually on the lower fancy side, commoner fancy, because he needs to save money up for other things. He is currently... He's a thief. He's pretty much he's a thief bard. I have
con man
created. He's a con man. Nice blue eyes, male physique, tall, lengthy, not very muscular. So he's a tall guy, but not that good. He's roughly 25 years old, around 200 pounds. It's about a good size for a 6-foot person, I assume. He's just raised by a individual family. I'm not going to do the whole thing, or just introductions until we get to the whole thing.
We'll just do like just
name, introduction, what it looks like,
what you look like first.
Yeah,
and then we can go back around.
Okay. Yeah, has instruments, carries a good little amount all in his little bag of holding because he is not strong enough to carry all of them on his back. So yeah.
Okay. I play Connor. Connor Smith. A 5'9" blonde human paladin. He, he's got short cut hair. His ears are like scarred and screwed up from past fighting and past trauma and whatnot. He is sort of just wondering what's going on with everything. Sort of just woke up one day and his head priest was like, "You're going on a quest." And he's like, "Okay." And so he's like still trying to figure out what that even is. But he ran into these fools. And so he's like, "I guess this is where I was supposed to be. I guess I'll stick with them." And then vampires came to the mix. And he's like, "Well, this looks like a worthwhile thing to chase." He mostly uses Beck de Corbins, or crow's beaks, a underutilized polearm in fantasy stuff, because I think Beck de Corbins are sick weapons. So he mostly uses those, and a shield, and Deuce Volt.
Deuce Volt.
It's a paladin meme.
Oh, okay.
I should also mention Dandy is human.
Oh yes.
Out of everything I described, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got our two. I think those are our two human
Two humans.
characters,
The
right?
only
Yeah.
humans.
Two humans.
So I play Revelor. Revelor is kind of a high society elf. He is, I think, the oldest member of the crew. Even though he's fairly young for an elf, he's about 187. I think I put it at, and he's very kind of pale blue, grayish sort of skin with crimson red hair that he has in sort of a bit of a mohawk. And he has bright blue eyes, and just sort of a kind of a typical snooty high society elf. Is kind of where he started his life. He started out as sort of an architect, actually, is kind of what his past profession was before he ran into this gang of this motley crew, I guess. And he has some things in his past that I imagine we'll get into eventually that kind of have made him a little bit of an offbeat character, where he's not really quite sure, why he's here or what he's doing, what he's doing. But And he is a really big fan of like speaking in riddles and like kind of trying to pretend that he's much wiser than he actually is. So, and I don't think there's anything else about him.
Did you say he was an architect or an archaeologist?
Did I say architect?
Yeah, you're saying architect, and I was like, I didn't know that about him.
No,
No,
sorry.
I think that's the wrong word.
I'm on the spot. So yeah, he was an archaeologist.
He
I don't
digs
know why
up
I said-
things.
Okay.
He yes, he does not build things. He finds things that are old that were once built, and then goes like, "Oh, that's cool. That's history."
He claims it for his discovery.
Yeah.
So
So he,
it's entirely possible. I misheard that.
no, I'm glad you said something because that was completely wrong. That was on me.
Have we like talked about that in session?
In session, he
Archaeologist?
mentioned he visited a temple, a
That was-
dragon temple.
Yeah, because when
Yes.
we were talking to Cedric, I think I said like, "Oh yeah, this is where I was. This is why I know what Dubin Crane is because I used to
Yeah.
do archaeological digs
right.
there."
Right, yeah, you
And
did.
when you
mention
brought it
that.
up, Dandy was interested because he was wondering if he actually ever met a dragon.
Right.
I don't think me ever like caught that.
Right.
So I was like, archaeology, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So and then I so yeah, I passed on to
That's interesting.
our archer Creorn.
Yep.
This whole
So
time trying to
I
dig these
am.
don't know it.
Yeah, I'll say it. My name's TJ. I play the half-elf fighter Creorn, who specializes in his bow and arrow, but he does have a sword. He's just not as much of a fan of it. He is, as a half-elf, he has human expressions and features, but it's very evident by his ears, which are pointed. Honestly, my character is, I think, the only one with like formal combat and military experience, as his father was a tradesman, so he did a lot of trading back and forth in between cities. And my father was always saying, you should get into the family business. And rather than that, I decided to join up in the town guard and eventually rise up in the ranks to become one of the leaders of it. I stand about 6'4", very tame skin, spending a lot of time outside. Usually dressed in armor because you never know what's coming at you. Hair, very traditional military buzz cut, high and tight, so pretty shaved on the sides, but a little bit longer on top, just a little bit easier to style. He prefers to wear his helmet more often than not when traveling, just because with the war that's been going on, you never know who you might encounter, and a lot of people aren't that friendly to elves.
Right.
I think that pretty well covers it.
Yeah, and I am the DM for this group, but since Ryan couldn't make it, I'm going to do my best to kind of explain what Otar looks like. And when I asked Ryan to like give me like the best description he's got, he was just like your generic California surfer dude with way too many muscles. And so Otar is a half elf with kind of longer, shaggy, blonde hair, who's just absolutely jacked. He's ripped. He's a barbarian who kind of goes back and forth between using a sword or a great hammer. I was about to be really bummed if you moved that. I lost my train of thought.
Bond, big, muscly
Yeah.
Otar.
Warhammer wielding barbarian.
Warhammer, giant battle axe, giant great sword.
I mean, screw it. Like, he's not here, so like, he's like John Cena with like long, shaggy blonde hair,
That's, yeah.
or dude
Yeah.
from Free Guy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Free Guy.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yes,
Yeah!
yes. Oh, Free Guy. Yes, dude. Yes, yes.
If you've seen it, you've seen it.
Yep.
The video game one.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Otar. He is definitely not the brains of the group, but he's certainly found his usefulness in this group of people.
He's also quite quiet.
He is.
He doesn't talk a whole lot.
He is a bit quiet.
He speaks when needs to speak.
which is normally ale. And yeah, I guess I can't dive too much into that, but there's partially a reason for it. I can't say that. But for, I guess at this point is a good time, better than any, that if you guys haven't watched it already, check out the YouTube channel. D Machine DMs is likely going to be going under a different name in like the next month. But in the intro, I read off basically the same description that I told all of these guys when making their character and their 0 sessions and even the first session, about basically the separation between the world of Iorn, Epheron, and Decry, and what races kind of live where, and the beginnings of the war on Mittalon. How all of these, the Titans, the protectors of this continent, basically just went to outside of their biomes and started attacking other places. And we're kind of in the midst of slowly kind of unraveling that, and like the vampires seem to be wanting to like bring back one of the Titans to do God knows what.
Bring back? I thought they were building it.
Well, Khatum was already around.
I found blueprints to make him, though. I thought they were
But
just
we did
building
find out in the last session
That was
from little
Khatum
bot-
2.0.
That's 2.0.
Yeah.
1.0 exists.
Right.
Which that session's not
Yeah.
live yet, but we're working on
We're
it.
working on it.
Yeah.
Post-production.
Yep. Yep. This is our amazing editor,
Yeah.
Grant. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, you guys say amazing, and I'm just over here, like, smashing my face into a keyboard trying to make the editing work. Like,
I mean, you smashed your face into that keyboard in the best sequence ever, because when I did it, I just had to buy a new keyboard. So, let's...
Quick thing.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
What hair color is Dandy, actually?
Ginger.
Okay, so what I see from his picture was correct.
That's
yeah.
correct.
And then mine is more like a crimson red.
Mhm.
It's sort of like blood, kind of dark blood color.
Okay, I was imagining you with brunette hair because of your token.
Right.
So there's only 2 blondes, there's 2 gingers, and there's 1 brunette.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing
Okay.
Dandy's missing is the Scottish accent that I can't do.
For some reason, I was like, wait, are so many more people blonde in this party than I was imagining? Hold on. But, okay.
Which, like,
No,
his
is...
blood hair.
Creorn's got more of like a jet black hairstyle
Gotcha.
going.
That's a picture too.
Yeah.
Which, like, I can pull up his token. It's definitely, like, a
Yeah.
deep
Oh,
red.
yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, when it's small, it actually does look kind of brown, but when you actually expand it, it's like, oh, no, that's just like a dark red.
Gotcha.
Actually, that'd
okay.
probably be a really cool idea. Like, I know it's not technically our art, but if you go to edit this, like, I can give you those JPEGs.
Sure,
to,
yeah,
like,
I can-
pop up onto
Yeah.
the screen.
Just to give people an
Credit
idea
to
of
the
what we look
artists,
like.
it works.
But instead of the
I don't
white
think we know
eyes,
where
it's
to find
blue
the
for
artists. We
Dandy.
pulled most
Right,
of the
right.
pictures off of Google.
If you want
I
to
could
give him
probably find
pupils,
artists
feel
for
free.
mine.
He's human. He has pupils.
we'll figure that out. We'll talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
If anything, AI
Or if there's a
generated
watermark
image.
on the art, we can make sure to.
Yeah.
Just
Announce
change it
that.
up. Yep. Just slightly.
Cool. So yeah, that's what everyone looks like. We've got a talkative ginger
Yes, Queen.
thief.
Oh yeah.
I wish we had a rogue. Jeez, I wish we had a rogue.
We got a.
I'm basically
You're
a rogue
you're close enough.
with flair.
Yeah, Danny's sort of like the catch-all for a lot of the characters that like aren't in the party. Where it's just like we don't have a rogue. And
We don't
so
have a healer.
We don't have a healer.
You need me to break into
Yeah.
this lock? I'm proficient in thieves tools.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
That's-
need me to build something? I actually have Tinkerbell tools.
I mean, that's like utility classes in a handbag, though.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, I've as playing a druid, it's just like I do my best to just kind of fill in the void, and unfortunately, that's normally just being the healer.
I'm also the healer.
Which, like, I don't know. I guess it's not bad if I like intended to want to play a healer. I wanted to play a druid. I wanted to be a transformer.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Kid's cool, but
The original Beast Transformers, the OG time.
Yeah,
yeah. Mix has done more damage artificer stuff than.
yeah, he does a lot of damage.
Anyway, we're not talking about that game.
Yeah,
Talk
no,
about this game.
Let's go with this game.
yeah. So if
Want to go back in a circle?
well, yeah, we'll start back over. But so if anything is, I guess, common knowledge, if it came up before the heart to heart, feel free to mention it, because the heart to heart isn't live yet, so nobody knows that.
Okay.
So if anyone joins in to watch this, they're gonna be like, wait, what? So that is still secret, but not to you guys, of course. So if anything came up in like sessions 1 through 10 regarding your guys' backstory,
Including session
Before.
0 or just star 1?
if it's public knowledge for everyone else, then sure.
Public
Okay.
knowledge for
Or what you
people, not
want
for
to be
characters.
public.
I'm talking strictly 0 session right now.
Okay. So, for starting with Dandy, Dandy has a family of 3 others. Father, who is a quick, handy thief, good with his hands, able to steal anything in broad daylight, even from nobles, right into their hand. And with the assistance of doing this, he has his mother, who is a magic user as well, who taught Dandy how to implement magic in his daily life. Able to distract anyone with her voluptuous body. Hello.
Voluptuous?
Oh, Dandy knows what his mother's about. Dandy knows what his mother's about.
Voluptuous.
Voluptuous too, because there's a little
Yeah,
bull in there. Yeah, and so she is good with distractions. She has magic to also influence as well. And then he has an older sister who is good at sneaking around, gathering intel, and overall blackmail. She taught him how to get around and how to actually gather information if need be, and to be the quiet person of his characteristics. And then just all 3 of them, when Dandy was around, they all traded him little tidbits, and that's why he's able to know and dabble in each and every little thing. During another later on heist in the town of Altanova, this heist consisted of robbing from the entire arena. During the battle, we decided to find a champion, so Mother set out her eyes to find someone who is strong enough to put in the fight, and we can stack the odds in our favor while we steal people of their pocket money, was the original plan. And as we found Otar in a bar, Dandy's mother brought Otar back to the arena, convinced them to enter into another fight, which apparently he is well known there for his barbaric ways of winning constantly. So he betted on him. No, sorry, he betted against him because
You wanted him to lose, right?
they wanted him to throw the fight. But they didn't realize Otar doesn't know how to throw fights. Otar is Otar. He wins.
Yeah.
So during the process, we realized this isn't going as we planned, and so something happened where sabotages ensued.
Yep.
People threw weapons in the area. The opponent used the brass knuckles first in a fair fist fight.
Yep.
And then we extended it by, I assume, one of my family members. I didn't even see it because I rolled low perception, because I do that every now and then because dice hate me. a sword got tossed. Which you think
Yeah.
brass knuckles to a sword it's kind of a big difference.
To be fair, they were enchanted brass knuckles.
Okay, yeah.
They
A
were doing-
sword is still like
They were
Die.
doing fire damage.
Yeah.
brass knuckles will break some bones and burn you, but a sword will just kill you.
Yeah, that kind of happened.
During that incident, Dandy was thinking this was getting out of hand, and then decided to take his eyes off his family and just focus on making sure no one died in the arena. Dandy likes to see himself more as an entrepreneur. What can we make a profit out of, and how do we just build a business from it? He's always been loving the idea of actually making a business, much like the arena owner himself, of making a business of doing things he likes. In the process of nearly killing both players, along with some couple of guards and a couple of shatter spells that possibly could have killed, luckily it didn't. We were able to help Otar escape captivity, quote unquote. There was going to be a whole investigation into how the weapons got thrown in, so we helped him escape. We got out, and it wasn't until after we left the city limits that Dandy, realized that my father and mother and sister successfully stole the entire chest winnings of the arena. We split the goods, each going to different individuals, and during the process, my father actually gave me the family bag of holding with some of the money from the chest. Dandy found that as odd, but just shoved it off as they didn't want to carry it, so he gladly carried it. They spent the night in Tariff, yes, and after that was said and done, they went back to Altanova. When the days passed, then somewhat died down of suspicion. And when they got back to the border gates, the three families went in normally after their passports were checked. And when Dandy showed his passport, it was denied. And seeing how his family continued walking ahead, he put it together that something was wrong on purpose. Sure enough, when he looked at his passport, it was defiled and drawn to make look like a child drew a tiefling. Funny, creative, obviously from his older sister. And he just couldn't get in and follow, so he had to get a new passport. And then Otar forgot his, so had Otar follow along.
Yeah, Otar didn't actually even have his passport on him. So since his 0 session was with yours,
Yep.
Otar had a dude. I need you to.
He is the prince of this kingdom.
Yeah, this is Bubba. He's annoying.
He's our druid.
Yeah,
He can't get out of wild shape.
He's cursed to forever stay in the cat form.
he's the druid with the 1 intelligence. He transformed once and can't figure it out.
Yeah, is that all for Dandy?
Well, so for Otar,
Oh, right, yeah.
because their 0 sessions were together.
Right.
Otar was helping he was helping a farmer sell some goods in Altanova, and while they were there, they would take some of their money and enter himself into fights to try to, double their winnings, and so while he was waiting in the tavern for his colleague to get up and either leave or do whatever they're going to do for that day, he met Dandy's mother, and it didn't take much convincing, but convinced him to go fight in the pit again and make more money. And when things didn't appear to be going his way, he saw the sword, and he went and he killed Nokrin the Great.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Witnessed by thousands of people.
Yeah. Luckily, he was a half-orc, and, they have the ability to come back with 1 HP. And at that point, a bunch of guards had, gone and, tackled him to the ground and unarmed him and figured it out.
When the story was told to us, you said your mother seduced Otar and brought him in, so I was like, are we...
Not
Man, that's
slept
weird.
with.
Right. At the time, me and Connor were both like, you're traveling with the guy who, Slept with your mom? That's weird, man. I mean, like,
to be fair, even if that was the case, once again, Dandy knows what his mother's about. She gets the job done.
I mean,
right.
if
You
they
get
stayed
one
in
night of
one spot
happiness,
long
we get
enough,
your
there's
entire
probably
life
a
savings. It's a good trade.
Yeah, for you guys.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's pretty much it for Otar. Like we mentioned earlier, he doesn't have a lot of speaking lines, so there wasn't a lot that really happened other than the fight for him in that zero session.
Dandy has taken the initiative in making Otar the start of what he feels is a new family, because he's not very favorable of his current one that abandoned him. He's kind of upset.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Connor, I don't know how much of description I gave him. 5'9", he's solidly built. He's a strong guy. He grew up in Elven capital before the race war began, and he watched it begin. That's proper term. I'm an English major. He watched the race war start, with his father being killed, and he got out of there. And he went to Glish, a small town, really small town, and basically just worked as a guard, worshipped Helm, and became a low-level paladin guy. Just, protected the place, just sort of lived out his life in a small town and was content to stay there. And then he doesn't know what his mother's up to. That wasn't a thing that came up before he had to leave. Then priest one day was like, "Yo, I had a vision, and you need to go." Connor also had dreams and visions of Khatum, and so when he found the blueprints and whatnot, he was like, "Oh crap! This is just not that's not a nightmare. That's a thing." Glish, he helped a kitty from a tree. Went on to go to Altanova. Old man stole from him. And he chased the guy down who stole his money, but then he saw that the guy was trying to just feed these two kids. So Connor just said, "Keep it, here's some more money," and left. We ran into them recently, that was really nice.
Yeah.
Went to Altanova, they said, "Nope, you need a passport." And he's like, "I was not told that I need a passport." They're like, "Well, no passport, no entry." So he goes over to the neighboring town and was like, "How do I get a passport?" And they're like, "Well, do something for us. And, well, we'll give you a passport." So I looked around and I just picked some guys out of the crowd and says, "You're coming with me because this is something dangerous."
To be fair, we were too tall. Me and Otar are both 6 foot something.
Yeah, you literally stood
We
out of the
literally
crowd.
stood on the crowd.
So I was like, you. And you came along later.
Yep.
Yeah, Revelor was kind of late to the party.
Yeah.
So
But I picked the other guys and said, "Let's go clear out a graveyard of undead."
Who's it? What's it now?
Let's go a little bit out of order,
okay.
and we'll do yours after session number 2.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Creon.
Yeah. So Kriorn, like I was saying, started out as a guard, and did we just lose somebody in?
We still
Discord?
got you. You're good.
Okay. Kriorn started out as a guard. He's about 70 years old, so he's, thanks to the half-elf blood, he doesn't look it. He looks, somewhere between 25 and 30. but he really remembers the times before this war started. He was a guard and, did that for a long time. Never really had any problems in his hometown. But recently, his father was away on trades and there were some soldiers out fighting. And so a couple of them, there was a fire outside of his hometown. And because of just how understaffed the town guard was, his the commander, Major Talkroast, came up to him and was like, hey, there's something going on out there. I don't have any guys to spare. Would you be willing to go take a look at it and just tell me what it is? If it's something that we need to deal with, we'll deal with it, but I don't have any senior people to send out on this scouting mission. And I said, you know what, I can handle that. So I went out and I found a pack of goblins.
You're good. We still got you in this. Yeah.
Okay. I see some pointing, and so I was just trying to make sure we're
DM's trying to get you back in his ear. He's trying to get you back in the ear.
My Bluetooth keeps disconnecting, and so it starts like playing through the speaker on the phone.
Okay. And so I go out and investigate where the smoke is coming from, and I come upon a goblin camp, and I find out that the goblins had actually attacked my old captain of the guard, Captain Fidus. And so I go through, slay the goblins, save Fidus, and continue on because the goblin camp was not quite near where the fire was, but it was close enough, and find out that it was actually at a farm nearby. And that's where Fidus was headed to. Get Fidus back up to health. He was not looking so hot, pretty unconscious there by the goblin camp. Get him back up to health and bring him back home to Widmer. And upon my return to Widmer, I hear from my mother that my father, who was out doing his trade route, has not returned. And he was several days late with no communication. And she asked me to go look into him, go along his trade route as I'd done so many times with him, and just see if anybody had seen or heard of him, make sure nothing bad had happened. And that is how I came to Altanova. And similar to Connor's story, I am told by the guards, hey, where's your passport? And I don't have one. And they say, well, you should go to the town of Tariff. They're the closest place that can issue you one. And until you get one, you're not coming in here. And that is... So as I'm standing around in line, I'm approached by a figure which later identifies himself as Connor. Says, hey, you want to go kill dead things or kill something that died a long time ago? And that's how we got to the skeletons in the graveyard.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun passport shenanigans of like giving people a reason to get into Altanova and then denying it. Like, kind of gave you all the common, like, oh, okay, we have something.
Yeah, common goal. And then we all get into Altanova and we're like, what do we want to do again? What was the purpose of being
it was
here?
only like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, what do we want?
Dandy knows what he wanted to do. However, he wanted to make sure everything's okay if the arena died down.
Right. So, in the first session, you guys all came to the town of Tariff, which, it's a small little town that really strives on being like one of the first stops outside of Altanova. And there's a small stable, a couple of shops, and a single inn, and they have their own little town guard. And then there's Matthew.
There's Matt.
Matthew Tariff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Too many NPCs with the same letter first names.
So many M's. Like in my games, there's so many A's.
Yeah.
So many A's.
So, so Matthew Tariff was basically the mayor of the town, and he's the single person who is supposed to be able to push out these passports. He's a busy guy being in charge of a city, so he only does the passports once or twice a week. So most of you guys ended up waiting around for a couple of days, playing music in the bar, having food, doing some last minute shopping.
Oh yeah, we just hung out for a couple days.
Yeah, you guys hung out for
Mhm.
3 whole boring days, because I had no idea what I was doing as a DM.
It's only boring if you don't know what to do at the time. Dandy probably had a great time.
Yeah, probably. It was a nice little vacation away from family.
Connor was like, I'm not shopping. I'm just waiting till
Yeah.
everyone's good to go.
Yeah.
I am anti.
Connor couldn't afford to go shopping.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. So the tavern, the Sugarsh Inn.
That's what it's called?
The
Tariff?
Sugarsh Inn. Yep.
Oh my goodness. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, the dwarven owner, her name is Sugarsh,
Yep.
I don't remember that either.
but it's
I should
should
take
take notes.
I should take better notes.
so everyone
I have
that
some notes,
says
but
it,
not.
everyone that says it out loud, it's like it's Sugar Rush because of the way that it's spelled. They think it's Sugar Rush.
Sugar. Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
Sugarsh.
But that's
Sugarush.
so that's where you guys met.
Sugarush, yeah.
Yep. So you guys met Sue, the mute dwarven bartender. She doesn't have a
Sue's
tongue.
dwarven?
Yes.
What the? I need to take better notes. I've been imagining a normal human woman this whole time. I need to take better notes. Holy crap.
You
Oh
know
my
Dandy
gosh.
is freaky.
I knew Sue.
That's not she was mute.
Yeah, I knew Sue was mute.
Okay.
I knew she's important in everything we've done with her. I've just always imagined 5'6" brunette.
No,
Human.
and she also has like a dark. It's almost like a dark red.
Pay
Hair.
attention. I need to take notes.
Like
Oh,
not
boy.
like crimson, but it's like
Right.
it's like a red brunette. What is that? Auburn.
Auburn, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So when we go to save your family, I will look for dwarves, not humans.
Yes.
I'll look for dwarves. That's
we
why
found
I
a
was.
human family. Oh, do you know Sue? Who?
I mean, that's
Why are you
that's
asking
why
about Sue?
that's why Connor's been like, man, we need to get them out because he's imagining a human family in Elven territory.
But
I mean,
the Elven territory isn't really happy against dwarves either.
no, it's not. But being human, he knows what it's like. So he's like, oh man, that's gonna be bad. Dwarven.
Yeah.
I need to take more notes. Holy crap! I am so sorry.
Connor's gonna be looking through Adroxia, just like human. Ooh, human. Oh, a human. Oh, that's an elf. Dwarf. That doesn't matter. Human.
Yeah.
Hey, that's them. They're huddled together.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we wouldn't know the difference because he's also human. He might be just trying to save other humans. It would make sense.
Right.
So we wouldn't question it until you go, "Are you one of Sue's family?" But then we look at him like, "What?"
What? No. He's. Oh man.
We see some human family cuddled up in a corner, and he's like, guys, Sue sent us, and the family's just like, who?
Who's Sue?
Yeah.
Bartender.
That's fun.
Is this another high five moment?
Yes.
No, what it really comes down
That
to
was
was
That was
for
something else.
I think sessions 1 through 10, you were in Utah.
Yes, I was I was over.
Yes.
So when Sue first got-
you, TJ, or Creon, you were here
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, these two swap places.
Yep.
You were here, and then
He was here,
I was
and then
there.
he was
Yeah.
there, but now
Yep.
he is here, and they are there.
and soon I'll be there, and I will stay there.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have like another little box next to Creon. So,
Garsh.
Sue's kind of a fun character that like it's kind of started off as me being anxious of playing like a female character.
Fair enough.
I didn't know how to portray a female dwarf's voice. Someone's just like, screw it, take her tongue away.
I hope there's an actual story besides just screw
Oh,
it.
there
take it to-
is.
Okay, good.
There's a story.
I don't want to talk.
But like as the first one of the first NPCs that you guys.
It's like the ultimate
Matt.
antisocial characters. Like, you don't want to talk so much, you just cut your own tongue off.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
their whole story.
Is he fairly stuck in Adroxia? Is that it? Adroxia?
Somewhere near it.
Near
Uh,
Adroxia. I'm taking
in
notes now,
Alpha.
man.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Good luck reading
Oh,
this mess.
good.
So
Hey, that's more than I got, man.
so
Connor,
yeah.
I'm gonna put my notes in chat.
I mean, I have some notes on D&D Beyond, but it's like really important stuff that I've noted down, and
Yeah.
then some of these other character stuff I just out
So
of my head.
you guys met
Excuse me.
Sue Garsh. You guys met Sarah. Sarah and Aaron,
Oh yes, the
The alchemist.
potion.
the alchemist's
Yes.
brother and
Mhm.
sister. Then there was the married.
Like, oh, I can only see Dandy being like, there's a story behind them. There's a story behind them. Dandy is quite the handy man. He will do whatever he can
Yeah.
to save a coin.
So, Sue and Aaron, and then there's Locke and Eamon, the married couple of blacksmiths.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nens Bailey, he's the
He's the
basically
game
like-
warden, or
yeah,
he's the hunter.
There's Borum, the stable hand.
yep.
I
Borum,
probably
Stephen.
would have paid more attention if Connor went out on the town and talked to these people.
Yeah,
But he was like, I'm just waiting until people are good to go. So I kind of like checked out a little bit when people were just going around talking to people.
There's Jean, Matt's wife.
Yep.
Jar, Matt's brother.
Lady Jean, Lord Tariff, and then Matthew Tariff's brother Jar.
There's Caleb and Derek, which are the guards of specifically Lord Tariff.
Yeah, they were
Yep.
two of the guards.
Oh, they weren't specifically for Tariff because I saw them specifically at the.
Well, I mean, they work for like the Tariff.
Okay.
Jean,
Guards.
is it spelled
They are the
J-
terror. They
I
are
put-
some of the.
I spelled it like
Matthew's bro?
Jar.
Jar.
Jarre.
I'm simple, so I just wrote down JAR because that's the only way my brain will pronounce
That's fine.
jar.
And then also there is Ekta.
Oh
the
yes.
place of the inn.
Ekta?
Yeah.
Painting.
So you had to talk to the painting before you were allowed into the inn.
Yes, I totally forgot
And
about Ekta.
the painting
Yeah.
doesn't move. It's
That's
just
why I
a
spelled it.
painting of a blonde woman
Mm.
who basically makes sure that you're like. That's how you pay to get into the inn.
Yep.
Mhm.
They don't want just people to just sit around and raise havoc and
Not pay for admission.
yeah, not pay for inn or not pay for beer. It's kind of like an admission fee just for being there.
Door charge.
Yeah, door charge. She's the bouncer.
Yeah, she's the bouncer.
It's a good job. Yeah.
But so yeah, in that first episode or first session, you guys sat around for like 3 days until you all got like the crier call to finally go get in line to go talk to Matthew Tariff, and Connor was the first in line since he was like the most used to waking up super early. And after Matthew realized that you were with the helm, due to your
my magical pendant. Yeah.
Yep. He was like, I actually have a task for you, and you might need some help. And explained basically a horde of skeletons that were at a local cemetery that was like on the path to. It's just basically on one of the southern paths. And after getting the key and forming the group, you guys headed that way and found the cemetery full of skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
And Creorn like shot a few arrows through the slits of the gate, and you tried to like stab a few with your polearm
Yes.
and swords, but you guys ended up unlocking it and heading in, where we headed into the session number 2.
Yep.
Which was all combat.
So, if we want to also add context for further escalations going to happen during the entire first day of being in Carif, Dandy, being the bard he is, yes, frantically hit on everyone and everything,
Oh yeah.
including Sue, which was the initial indication of future things to come. At the time, from Dandy's perspective, he just needs to blow off some steam
Yeah.
any way he can.
So in session number 2, there wasn't a lot of roleplay that went into it. You guys fought your way into the skeleton. You fought your way into the cemetery, and the skeletons seemed a bit more organized than your classic undead, where they're just shuffling about. Like, there was a goal, there was an intention. They were
Wanting us to stay out.
Yeah. And at one point, I think they all did talk in unison of just like, stay out.
Yeah, and we were like,
Yeah.
That's creepy.
no.
I think it was as soon as we put the key into the lock, there was just one loud hiss. And it was just like, get out.
Yeah.
If I
That sounds-
remember right.
Yeah, Dandy would have obliged, but...
I think Dandy tried to oblige.
Right. Yeah, you guys fought through the hordes of skeleton, and Dandy actually ran into the crypt that they seem to have been protecting
Invisibly.
before anyone else, while invisible. And everyone else continued to fight outside. And what did you find when you went into the crypt all by yourself?
Oh, this hot chick. Hot, naked chick. Dandy was both ecstatic and worried at the same time.
And why were you worried?
Oh, because she was pale and just, like, vanished after just doing a double take.
Oh,
Looking.
it wasn't her hanging from the ceiling?
Oh, that's right. She was hanging upside down and looking at her. He freaked the hell out. First stunned, beauty, snapshot, and then just immediately turned around, still invisible,
Yep.
getting ready to let everyone know. And after everyone know, there's this upside down chick hanging from the ceiling, pale as hell. He goes back to look at it, and she's gone. So, fear deeply ensued. He's
Yep.
not a brave man.
She was a naked vampire?
I was under the impression she was naked.
I mean, Vampire Spawn.
That's your
does
impression
have
of everybody.
clothing.
Right.
She did have clothing. She had a very nice dress.
Okay, I was
actually.
like, I don't remember that being a thing, but
No.
maybe I
Dandy was
forgot
under the
Sue
impression
was a
she
dwarf, so like,
Yeah. I imagine Dandy from her because you said the way you described her being pale. I'm like, so she's not wearing anything because I don't think
He's
the
able to
clothing
tell
was
that she's
described.
pale.
So I forget who was it. One of you four, because this was before you.
Right,
one
right.
of you four spoke Celestial, right?
Not me.
I kinda did
Not me.
with my
Okay.
battle cry.
So you guys identified that this was the Mittalon family crypt.
Not
We saw the crest on the shield within the graveyard.
And it also said, like, over the gate. over the gate.
was
It
in
was
the- it was
the
in the-
Mittalon family cemetery.
Right.
Okay. In common or
No, it was in Celestial.
I don't read Celestial.
Okay.
I don't understand Celestial. So I think we
think-
just saw the Mittalon crest. Or
Maybe-
no,
Maybe Matthew or Jar mentioned it,
That would have made it more easier.
but yeah, like pretty much the whole building had the whole like all the. It had the Mittalon crest, but there was also like additional crests on there that was a specific person that worked with Mittalon.
I'm glad we're going over all of this.
Specifically, it was the same crest that was on Hawk and Dirk's shield.
Oh.
What we didn't know now, we know now.
Yeah. So,
Getting so many secrets revealed.
I mean,
So many
Take
things that
better
we
notes.
didn't take.
Yeah.
So many things I didn't pay attention to are getting revealed.
yeah. So, you guys fought your way into the crypt and found a vampire spawn. You guys fought your way through it. That was a fun, good fight. Dandy ended up killing it with a spell scroll of Earthquake.
No, I did major damage, but I didn't do the final blow.
Oh,
I did major damage. I think it was
no, you did do final blow on that.
on the
It
scroll alone.
was, yeah, from the scroll because it was. It
Upon
wasn't
had to
earthquake. It was
ensue.
like shatter earth or something like that.
Well, okay, I know what he's thinking. So technically, you got final blow, and then during the fight, you guys heard the skeletons. Oh, as you guys went back into the crypt, you guys were watching outside. All the bones were like collecting to becoming like something
Yes.
bigger and crazier.
F that.
And in the fight with the vampire, you guys did lock the door. You guys like tied it shut with rope.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The skeletons inside of the crypt started to come alive, and they actually started helping you. They started shooting arrows at the vampire.
Right, which was confusing, but we're like, sure.
Right. So, and then as soon as you got the final blow to make the vampire unconscious, the skeletons stopped. You casted, I think, it was something to see like good and evil.
Detection of good and evil.
I think there's detection of good and evil.
Yeah. there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And that's when you
Mhm.
saw the invisible form,
Oh, I had divine sense or something.
what you guys now know as Ethel.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I know her.
Yep. She became uninvisible. You started charging at her, and she picked up the vampire spawn, put it back in the casket, and then speared her
And I was
through
like,
the heart with
That's
the
what it
staff
was, yeah.
oh.
to make sure that she didn't come back.
Yeah. I knocked the vampire unconscious. She delivered the final blow.
Yeah. Which is where I think Creorn ended up getting all of the magical items in that session.
I
There's
did.
the ring of jumping that the vampire had. There was the wand of webs that was on King Mittalon's statue inside of the crypt.
Hold up. Hold. I want to make a mention here. Creorn stole from a
I
royal casket.
I did not steal it from a casket. It was on the statue. Thank you very
Flashback
much.
to earlier that day, chat.
Oh.
Earlier that day, Dandy got flack for stealing a potion of water breathing.
That's right.
From
Your
a
introduction.
merchant.
Yeah.
Mine
Yeah,
was
we were
from a-
talking. Yeah, we were like, hey, Sarah, nice potions. And you're like, swipe.
Hey, as I saved 3 of them.
That wasn't even Sarah. That was Aaron.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
It was
there at the
Aaron.
time.
Aaron dropped
And-
a potion of levitation.
And made a whole bunch of potions fall. That's thousands of gold that could have
Yep.
fell and destroyed. I saved that man 10,000 gold probably at a minimum.
After you got hit in the face with a slipper.
And with that, that's assault.
Yep. He like
I
used the slipper to like try to
needed
like
a
knock
crypt.
him down.
You took some
Of
dead
royalty.
Of the royal
aren't
family.
using it.
No, I
I now
think,
see where you guys' standards lie.
yeah.
There's the funny little
I
back
don't
and forth.
steal from the living.
And the last magical item inside of the crypt was his bow. That
Yes.
that needed to be restrung.
Yep.
But,
And I have since shared the wand. And I use that ring so much.
Yeah, you do. Which it's funny because, like, as a DM, you know, I was like, oh, this would be cool for this person to have. This would be cool for this person to have. This would be cool for this person to have. And then one person finds it all, and I'm like,
I was the only person with a good investigation check.
yeah, everyone rolled so bad for investigation on that.
I'm not an investigative person.
But after Ethel speared the vampire spawn, she kind of saw your guys' intent of I don't think we should trust this person, and she poofed out and left a message behind of what can run but never walks, has a mouth but never talks, has a head but never weeps, has a bed but never sleeps.
And
It's a river.
Yeah.
Is what we came up with.
Release the river.
Who was the
Yeah.
one who answered that?
I think you did.
I rolled a low
Connor.
intelligence, so I couldn't tell you it.
Was it
Me
Will?
as a human knew the answer. Dandy's not smart enough to tell you the
I
answer.
know.
I think I just puzzled it out. And
I think you guys did puzzle it out because I know
Puzzle
TJ
it
did
out.
know the answer because me and him found the same website where the
The
where
riddles are.
where I came from, so he knew exactly what was going on.
Yep. I knew it, but I rolled terribly, and it was so infuriating because I was
Same.
like, I know it. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. So
didn't look nothing up. I just
What
thought real hard.
yep.
Absolutely hilarious if Otar was the one to figure
Big
it out.
brain.
I
Yeah.
feel like I was actually there at that one when you guys figured it out because I seem to remember.
You were there on our way back. It was session 3.
Yeah, because
Yep.
I seem to remember. Yeah, TJ being annoyed that that he knew it, but his character didn't, and then he just
Yeah.
asked someone, and someone else rolled, and there's maybe it's this, and then oh yeah, it's a river, of course.
So at this point, that's where the session ended, and then we had your brother's birthday, and we found Grant was just like, hey, I want to play D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we quickly made you up a character, and we did a 0 session together.
Yeah.
That was intense.
That was-
Not a lot of that has really come up.
That's kind of the thing too, is I wasn't sure how much of that really we can even reveal because it's
Yeah.
none of that is knowledge outside of you and me, basically. Almost none of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you want to?
Because basically, I'm trying to remember. Because what town did I run into everyone in? Was that?
That was in Tariff.
That was Tara.
Yeah, because I don't think I really revealed much beyond some history before that. There is some stuff where I've told people okay, I have a father and a mother and everything, and they're kind of elven, the higher class elves basically. And they were part of the nobility basically, and
What we know now.
yeah. Well, it's I always knew that my family was kind of upper crust, and it's just but more on that later. And anyway, actually I think the our one-on-one is up, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess that is common knowledge at this point, or at least that's lore knowledge at this point. People who, if you've watched the one-off with me and our DM, then you know this. Whereas it turns out that after I left, which I think my character is about 180 years old, 187, he left almost a century ago. He just decided, I don't want to be a part of this family. I'm not really, he's kind of being groomed to be the heir of his father, and he just didn't really like that. So he decided to go off and kind of pursue his own ends. And while he was gone, apparently his father ascended to the throne and became the king. And
he instated a small time council
yeah,
so that he could just delegate his problems. but it wasn't like
A council?
yeah.
The council?
Yeah.
Damn it.
But yeah, and there's kind of a big black hole of plot that basically happens in between there, and when Revelor runs into everybody, that still has yet to be revealed. So I think I'll leave most of that a mystery for now.
That-
And
A-okay with me.
essentially, Revelor just kind of wound up getting rounded up with the rest of the party. He just happened to be in the same tavern drinking when kind of adulations and congratulations were happening. Like, good job on on your.
They got like dragged into the bar, so you guys head back into Tariff.
Yep.
Right.
And Jar was very drunk. Opened the doors. You guys are back. You guys just kept pulling you in, and you just happened to be walking into the bar at the same time.
Exactly.
I think the best part is that when we all sat down to the table, Dandy noticed you right away.
Yeah.
We just thought, all right, just kept on going to this.
And Jar was talking to you guys oh yeah, this was probably one of the guys that was with you. He was in line at the tavern with you.
Right.
And you're just I don't know what's happening, but I wanted to talk to this person.
Right.
And I guess I'll just hang out, see what happens.
And that's kind of what happened, and I think that's also out there at this point too, where Revelor basically kind of saw a vision of the symbol of Helm, and it's the same symbol as I think on the amulet that Connor wears.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you saw the Eye of the Helm.
Yeah, and that was
the smoke coming out of the vase that gets walked around the tree and around the town of Tariff. That still nobody has any idea of why.
Right. And yeah, that's the thing. It's the smoke. He saw this vision in the smoke that nobody else seemed to see, and kind of that drew him towards Connor initially. And Revelor is kind of in a bit of an unstable place at that point too, where he's very lost, given once again the previously mentioned kind of plot that we'll eventually get to, I think.
Yeah.
But he kind of has been turned about, and that's the first sign he's seen that's very powerful. That's oh, this is important. This means something, And so it kind of made him try to throw his lot in with with Connor, and by extension, kind of everyone else.
Yeah. I should ask. Do you guys remember the kid walking around?
I remember the kid. I just thought that was a seance. He was part of the religious group of this guy. Just he's just going around praying over the whole town. I thought it was just that.
Maybe I remember. I think.
It
now
was indicated to us that nobody thought it was weird within Terra. It was a pretty common occurrence.
It happened every day you were there.
Yep, it happened every day we were there, and every day since,
Now I believe
it's
that
just
kid
been a
is solely
thing.
responsible for keeping vampires away. That's what it is. The smoke kept them away.
It's just garlic. It's just roasted garlic.
That's all
Maybe
it is.
he's also a virgin.
A what?
A verdant?
A verdant?
I swear to God, if you throw more
The
aliens at us.
At least he knew it was the alien.
I was gonna say no. I remember too because I was the one who ran into him first.
No. So
Wait,
yeah.
there's actually aliens?
Oh my god.
Bro, where were you last session?
Do you not
Last
remember?
session.
I was freaking out because this guy could give us stars.
Remember the not guy?
Right!
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
Starman, Star Seller. Yes, okay, I remember. Yes.
And then
Starman.
I not so casually, after the Starman left, dragged this guy aside.
Alright,
You're right. Okay.
That's it.
I remember now.
That's
I remember.
Alright,
I
that's
was
it for now,
I
that's
was
it for
trying
now.
to
That's not
remember
part
the
of the
aliens
skit,
come
so-
in.
That's it. We're not recording another D&D session until he's done editing and you watch every video on YouTube. And I want a book report on every episode.
500 words.
Just right now, I have so many more notes than I ever did.
Oh my
Because
god.
he sent me his, and I'm copying a bit of them and trying to.
Oh, these are just the name aspects. If you want to actually go through the actual lore history, what I got going on.
I swear I'm gonna be better. I swear.
Oh man.
And then if you want the also sketch notes that I've also been taking on the side, I have like.
I guess I'm gonna quit work to just focus on D&D note taking.
So, okay.
Oh my goodness. Whew.
Gonna kind of streamline it a little bit because we still have 7 more sessions to get through in an
Back
hour.
on
45
stream.
minutes.
Back on episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but 20 minutes of that was.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, no. I'm looking at the clock on the bottom right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, session 3, we introduced Revelor's character, quite literally just dragged into the bar, given a drink, and said, "Good job on killing skeletons." At that point, Jar had already encountered said skeletons trying to leave the town, and was just kind of looking for some hired arms, hired. I was gonna say guns, but there's no guns.
Hired swords.
Hired swords.
Hired
Yeah.
hands.
Hired hands.
Yeah, he was looking for some muscle. There we go.
Sell swords.
Sell sword, yeah.
Cell sword.
A sell sword.
Okay. Yeah, he was looking for some
Mercenaries.
cell swords to mercenaries. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
Let me get my thesaurus out.
Yeah. He was just looking for some added muscle to help him get to the town of Aboon with a cart full of boulders that was very expensive, apparently. But at that point, you guys basically were kind of given a choice, because the next morning you guys went and got your passports. And you guys had the basically 3 different choices of, do we escort Jar, do we go and find the witch, or do we just go to Altanova? And you guys chose to escort Jar. You're like, we should probably get some money before we go into the city of trading.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
is Dandy's aspect, yes.
And one of our points of going with Jar is he said that we would stop along the river.
yep, the
He
whole
was like,
path
yeah,
there
there's-
was along
It's along the river. So it was kind of like, well, this could be a 2 birds with 1 stone moment.
Yeah.
I think we picked up another rumor around town that there were... The main reason why we also wanted to give him protection, because what we knew, is that rumors around town is that there were some furred beasts in the forest that, quote-unquote, could be dangerous.
Yep.
People feared these beasts because they were just beasts.
Weren't we thinking those were like werewolves?
That's what I thought it was.
Like halfling werewolves.
You guys just
I
know
thought
what
it was like
was.
Timberwolves or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we just fought vampires, and then like, there's furry beasts, and we're like, okay, I guess there's werewolves.
Vampires
that we're
and
gonna have to
werewolves
fight.
are going full Twilight. I want a war.
And did we deal with wolves? Did we deal with furry?
No.
No.
We
Well,
dealt with furry
yes.
creatures.
We did.
That's episode 4 or 5.
Well, so we'll get to that.
Yep.
So you guys,
I'm
You
so
guys-
sorry.
it's okay. So you guys decided to go with Jar first thing in the morning, and escorted him, and thankfully you guys did, because you guys ran into half orcs and orc and goblins fighting it out on the path.
Oh, that's right.
Right, and we just had to leave them alone.
No, I
No,
went full
you guys
Witcher mode.
murdered
No,
them.
yes, no,
we all
murdered
went
them
full
all.
Witcher mode.
Yeah.
It was a choice between leave them alone or go murder.
Yep. And Creorn used his ring of jumping and tried to get the high ground. Also tried to
Mhm.
solo 3 goblins by himself and almost got himself murdered. Which one of them was a
mostly
mage.
worked, though.
It
Yeah.
did work after a while.
It did work.
I threw a bunch of Toxicidious laughters and crew jokes that we can't stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first of many.
And you guys, so you guys fought through that. Nothing was really gained from the fight except for
We learned that the orc had a freaking pier prongs in his neck, and that's why he was eating his other goblin kind.
Right. So
Was I even there for this session?
yes.
Yes.
I feel like I missed.
You were in Utah.
Yeah. You were there.
Was I?
We did
Yeah.
not play without you. The only person we've ever played without, I think, is Ryan.
No, we played without TJ for a little bit that one time too.
You did play without me for that half session.
Yeah,
For a half session, but I think the only person
for
for a whole session
got you.
that we ever skipped out on was
Why do I not remember
Ryan.
fighting a whole bunch of
Ryan.
goblins?
It has been a month.
Do you not remember?
It's
a lot longer
do you
than
not
that.
remember
Yeah.
Danny downing like the giant? Was it like an ogre?
Yeah, he
with
downed the
Tasha
ogre
Sidious
with
laughter.
the Tasha
I
Sidious
Tasha
laughter.
Sidious laughed at his butt.
And then when you guys went to kill it,
we
and
all
you
took
guys started
turns just to...
damaging, it sat up and it had goblin legs hanging out of its mouth.
Oh.
and then you
Yeah.
guys investigated the other goblin in the bush.
I
And
think I
it
remember
had the
something
snake
about this.
bites. Or
I
not
think
had
I.
the snake bites. It
Yeah.
had the vampire bites.
I think I remember that. I remember the goblin hanging out.
Okay.
I mean,
And
this
then
was
Danny
like a couple
goes on a
months-
full.
This was.
This was yeah.
This
I mean,
was
we've been
4 or
playing,
5 months ago.
Yeah, we've been playing for a while.
That's true. Yeah.
Dandy has been on a vampire rage since. He's been going on tour at every location, warning everyone in his furious, drunken state about vampires.
And then Connor brings up to some people, and you guys are like, "Wait, hold on, maybe let's not talk about him."
I didn't say that.
Okay, no. Let's not talk about
usually-
vampires.
Dandy does it when the rest of the party isn't around, so we can't
Yes.
stop him.
Exactly. I'm warning people,
Connor
as
brings up-
any good person would.
Yeah, and then Connor's like, "By the way, vampires." I'm just like, "Oh, bro, I don't know." I'm like,
So
man, like,
I am the
See-
man in every movie that warns people of the monster to come. He's like, there's no monster in the forest.
I was waiting until we could find like guards and things like that instead of scaring the common people.
you know,
Common people are the ones that are in danger, not guards.
Everybody's in danger.
yeah, I think the guards are in danger if they're not told about the danger.
But they have weapons. They'll catch up.
so you guys
Figure it out.
so you guys fought through the
Goblin
fighting
wars.
goblins and ogres. They were fighting each other, and then you guys came through and just mowed through them both. You guys found the goblin with the vampire bites in its neck, and presumably that's what they were arguing about. They were blaming the ogres for killing the goblins, or the goblins were blaming the ogres for killing the other goblins.
Mm-hmm.
You guys mowed through them, and at that point, Jar was like, "Okay, we ran into battle. You guys got hurt. I know a area. I know somewhere where we can rest. That's not outdoors. Where you guys went to Splashing Point.
There
Yes,
was
we
one
found the
magic
bird
item
beast.
collected from that fight, by the way. And
There
that
was a
was
magic
the yes, there was that staff of fire, the one that the goblin mage kept using against me.
That was-
that one.
It
Did you
wasn't a
just
magic
for-
staff. It was just a staff that he was using fire on.
I think it was. Just
That's right.
focus.
Yeah.
I'm going back through my notes and like
Right.
making adjustments as
I was about to say, it's like, we
I
have a
was gonna say,
staff
are
of
you just
fire?
are
Wait,
you just holding all the magical items?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I
hoarding
I
everything.
have distributed them.
Yeah, I think I have the wand of webs now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Connor just has
Okay.
two
So
magical pole arms.
Yeah. He's
So-
just like, oh, did you need one?
never mind. I don't have a staff of fire.
Okay, just making sure.
So you guys get to Splashing Point, which is a little village on the river. You guys were introduced, or not introduced. You guys walked out onto this dock, essentially. Saw a couple halflings, but most importantly, you guys walked into their inn, having to duck into their building. You found a tribe of sentient otters.
Yeah, and they could speak common.
They were the
told us-
fur beasts.
They are the
cannot.
furry beasts.
They cannot speak common.
Not all of them. They
Did we eat food and then we could talk to them? Is that it?
They
No.
ate
It
food.
ate the meatloaf
It ate the meatloaf.
They ate me
so that they could talk to you.
Yep.
Right.
Where you guys got your delicious otter wine.
Is furry beasts? Is that a title, or is that like a?
That was just something that
That's
the
just what they
citizens
were
called
being
them.
called because
They didn't know what they were otters.
So they were super skittish.
Oh, they were the furry beast people who running. I never put that together.
See, this is why we just need to hang out outside of D&D so that we
Oh,
can catch
right.
him up on what the hell's going on.
I'm trying to take notes right
I don't know who's seen Host Club or Orion's Host Club, the anime.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You're the light bulb. You're the last light bulb.
And the last, everyone else gets it and moves on. I'm still thinking like, I don't.
Yeah.
There's a spark and it like breaks, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I
Though.
can't connect.
And that was spring water. What was
Splash point.
Splash Point.
Splashing Point.
Spring water.
It's not a bad name for a village. in the water.
Splashing point.
But yeah, you guys got the super strong, very sweet wine that got you guys drunk.
And then Dandy bought 3 bottles.
So you guys bought a handful of bottles. The otter at the inn ate some meatloaf that allowed it to talk common to you guys. But after your guys' meal, super intoxicated, you guys went to go to the inn that Jar paid for you guys. And after 4 out of 5 of you guys whacked your head on the doorway, you know, being over 6 foot.
It happens. 6 foot and drunk.
One person actually remembered to duck, and you guys saw a crow trying to it looked like it was trying to bust open like a walnut or something. And after you guys all walked out, it turned its head and revealed it was just like half of its face was missing. It was just the skeleton of a bird. Took off flying across the river where you guys saw Ethel on the other side of the river.
Nightmare
Right.
fuel for Dandy.
So she does something with undead in some way. Anti-undeath necromancer, maybe.
Oh, but she's part of the council. We can trust her.
Yeah, there's some council thing that she's a part of. And
Which comes in a few more episodes. At this point, she was just the witch.
right, we didn't even know her name.
Yeah.
Just the witch.
So you guys commandeered a couple of boats, their canoes, went across the river, met up with her. She led you guys to her house, where Dandy got his magic conch. And through some conversation, told you guys that there was going to be another vampire at the lava cave, back towards Tariff.
Not to be confused with Durgar.
Yeah, the dwarf with sharp teeth. You know, I was trying to be cryptic.
It worked.
Yeah.
And with Dandy's intelligence of 0, it worked.
Oh my goodness, and she straight up told us. I'm just going over the notes you sent me, TJ. She straight up pointed at the lava cave and was like, "You're gonna find another vampire there." And then we didn't go back there for months.
Yep. Well,
Weeks.
months in real
Weeks.
time.
In
Yeah.
real time. Yeah.
And then we're like, "Oh, there's a vampire in here."
Well, best finish our job first.
Yeah.
We have an obligation. Danny's all about the money more than wanting to face vampires than anything.
Reveler wasn't going to argue because at this point, I think I had the least gold out of everyone, despite coming from nobility. I think I still had no money
Yeah.
going into this.
Welcome to the streets, as Danny would say.
So I guess this is a little bit of spoiler, but I guess in hindsight, what would you have rather have done? Go through what you dealt with at the manor outside of a boon,
Which now, yeah.
or go up to the lava cave.
I think I'm glad we went.
No,
Personally.
Dandy would still do the same thing because he would rather have money and not
Sure.
voluntarily chase after a vampire.
Yeah.
We're trying to save the world, but man, that runs on money.
Yeah.
Y'all are
And
trying to
funding.
save the world.
Right.
Dandy's trying to start a business.
Just with that realization, just kind of made me wonder,
Yeah. I still think I'm glad that we did it the way we did, just because the stuff we ran into in the lava
We
caves.
know where the BBEG is now. We wouldn't have known before.
And we'll get to that obviously, but I feel like it fits better dramatically to build
Yeah.
up to that a little bit.
And so, okay, so after you guys, while you guys were discussing, 2 of you guys noticed that while you were inside, the actual house rotated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cabin in the woods, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like me and Creorn, the king of noticing things.
Yeah.
The kings of noticing
The
things.
only
Yes.
perceptive ones.
I have a 14 passive perception.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you guys, after you guys' conversation, Magic Shell told where the lava cave, where the vampire was going to be.
Mhm.
You guys went back to the river, or back to Splashing Point, and slept. and that's where you guys leveled up to level 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is so good for me. I'm remembering and taking so many notes.
We're not doing this for you, chat. We're doing this for us.
It's just like
We'll have to do this for ourselves once.
This
every
isn't
few-
for the
every few
viewers.
months.
This is just, we need to remind ourselves of these
Catch up
things.
on everything.
a couple of hours of blowing Ethan's mind.
Well, so like I mentioned, like when we kind of did our little team meeting a couple weeks ago, like I kind of had this idea of like, maybe like every other week or something.
Talks
like,
mocking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just a couple of us, if not everyone can make it, or just, shoot,
Yeah.
just playing some games.
I mean,
But, like,
Ethan needs
yeah.
to be at every single one of them.
Apparently. Ethan can be the host, so he has to rewatch
Oh
the
my
videos
goodness.
and then ask us the questions.
So did
I would
you
ask some
figure-
terror. I would just be like reviewing. So like, did we encounter these people? You're like, yes, you did. You
know,
met them, and I told you that. Oh,
be fair-
okay. Next
to be
question.
fair, like most of this confusion is probably like, 1, I'm super illiterate. 2, I probably contradict myself every other sentence.
I think the
when
main
when
reason is
all of
it
them
was,
are
this was back
groaning
when
that
we
I
had
ask-
the webcam mic, so probably half of our conversation sometimes probably peaked out.
Yeah, probably.
there was some mic issues.
But then we got us a new mic that is
Yeah.
now having issues when multiple people talk at the same time. So we're trying to fix that as well. We're getting better.
Well, it still does. If we all talk at the same time, TJ
It
can
does.
hear us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, like when everyone else is like, "Man, don't you know that?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. I just I need to take better notes."
It's okay.
And
So we, you guys
yeah,
woke
pay attention.
up.
We leveled up.
Yep, you guys leveled up. That was level 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We headed to the exit of town when we were being followed by Grand Master Otter.
No, he was where you guys left the horse. He was talking to Jar.
He very firmly
Yes.
talked to all of us.
He
And
feared
Dandy
you.
remembered by, I think it was a blade or his claws, whatever it was, kind of viciously on top of me because I fell, because I failed my dexterity saving throw some goddamn how. I was invisible. He still found me. And in the end, he feared me for whatever reason. And then he gave me a very stern warning. I think it was his claws. Do not talk about this place to others. And then he said, okay.
I don't. I remember you like trying to flank him in the woods. I don't remember you going invisible.
You, I don't think, did go invisible.
Did not,
Did you have
after all?
invisibility at level
I-
4?
You're able.
Oh.
You have second level spells at level 4.
Which
I
is the
know
otter
I
man?
was in the woods and
Is the
did
otter
not
man?
get detected.
Yeah.
I remember the
This
Otterman
was
didn't want us to talk.
Chief
I don't know if we
Bobbio.
threatened.
No, yeah, second level,
No,
I have
so
invisibility.
you all had to make a saving throw because he was trying to fear all of you. He had a sharp
That's
tooth
what it was, the fear effects.
that was.
Right. Okay. No, I remember
He
this.
was
now, yeah.
basically trying to like enforce like don't talk about this village.
Right. Yeah. Okay,
that's what I
remember
failed on.
that. Yeah. I remember that
And
now.
Okay.
like Jar later explained that like their furs were excellent for getting up into like the icy tundras of Everon. So like a lot of them get hunted.
So before we go there for quests, we need to go to Splashing Point and prove this hunter's right. Skin some otters.
Bro. I was wondering where you were going with that.
Make some coats.
You know, I'm gonna be real with you. If you showed up in the middle of the night at Altanova, you could probably find a vendor with some otter skin.
I don't have any money.
Make sure to put it in the bag of holding before you go back to Splashing Point.
Right.
Actually, no, I have tons of money now. It's just all going to my armor.
Yeah. So that was a relatively uneventful day for you guys on the trip to Aboon. Nothing else happened until you guys got there.
Aboon was Desert Town, right?
Yep.
Yes.
That was
okay.
the one that was built inside of
Yes.
the cave.
Mm-hmm. I think I have a fairly good recollection of this time.
Mm-hmm.
other than meeting Alpha? Because apparently more things happened when we talked to Alpha than...
A lot of
Right.
stuff happened when you guys talked to Alpha.
I just remember us going there. I was being scared because I imagined a beholder. Because you had talked about a thing with a central eye and
We'll-
things with
we'll
more
get-
eyes,
we'll
and I was
get
like,
there.
beholder! Oh
Yeah.
no, right away!
Yeah. Well, yeah, once you guys got to a boon, Jar took you to, like, the very back of the city where this, like, barn with a crazy amount of, like, industrial tech was, and, like, that's where he was taking the cart full of boulders, to, not that you guys know this, but that's essentially, they used, super pressured water to cut the boulders. So that's what the giant, like, belt-fed water wheel going all the way down the cliff was. They were getting more water and using basically a water jet to cut through these boulders. Nobody
Which
really
the boulders ended up
investigated
being
the technology.
Yeah.
stone spider egg sacs.
Yep.
Desert town. Uses water to cut stone instead of just like chisels?
Yep.
Get
That
high
one
enough
does.
pressure, they can, yeah.
Okay.
Water's his own blade.
Because, like, so the water is, like, down, like, 150 cliff. Like, there's
Right.
there's a stream down there. And so, yeah, they had this, like, big conveyor belt water wheel type thing that fetched water, and then they would compress it using their machines, and they would use that to cut into the boulders.
Okay.
Get more
Yeah.
boulders.
Deliver
But-
boulders.
All that technology, all of that metal was what
Attractive to some.
attracted to some odd creatures.
Oh
Little
god.
metal goblin boys with
Yep.
eyes.
You
that
can't
were
even
weird.
call them like that because they have fleshy bits.
Yep.
Yeah, they're weird.
They're weird.
Yep. Introduced the drones, the mono drones, the duo drones.
Not gonna lie, when I first heard you describe these things, I'm like, are these mimics taking over machinery? And if so, why are they eating metal and not people?
You know, interestingly enough, so like mono drones, the whole drone things, like nobody ever really touches on it on D&D. Like I found them after I bought the book and was just scrolling through it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then,
think you asked me a long time ago of like, how'd you come up with doing Drow for your first campaign? I was like, I just flipped the book, found a thing, said that's the one I'm gonna use.
yeah,
That's pretty much how
So I
discovered
think that's what you did for Mono Drones, right? You just found
yeah,
them,
it was
you're
just
like,
something I wanted to
"These."
add in, and they were cool.
Yeah.
But it was interestingly enough, there was a Talks Machina with Liam O'Brien, and they were like, "What's your favorite D&D creature?" And he said monodrone.
Really?
The monodrones are his favorite D&D creature,
Huh.
which excited me.
Well, I
'cause
don't know.
I've
I
never
don't know
really
if
heard
you.
anyone else talk about him.
I don't know if you saw his one shot that he did with the group, Liam O'Brien's one shot. It's meta as hell, but
Oh,
actually
it was
great.
super meta. I loved it.
It was the one where they're all playing themselves but younger, right?
Yeah, and
Mhm.
then they play themselves as older as actors that they're supposed to do, only to find out that they're in a world of a virtual world.
Oh my gosh.
It gets very immersed.
Crazy.
Only for them to go back in time and change it all.
Anyway,
But yeah, so you guys get into a boon. You guys meet. I don't remember his name at the moment, but a guard captain.
Oh, that bastard.
Noah.
Yeah, Noah Akam.
I didn't write down his last name, but I know it's
I
Noah.
probably never said it.
It was Malcolm,
But Noah was trying to calm the crowd of people, like saying they're trying to figure out how to deal with these drones. And while half the party went, I think you guys went shopping.
Yes, we did. Went to the main town center, helping Jar drop off his supplies, and Danny
Yeah.
was gonna go
Yeah.
look around.
Otar got an interesting doll from that town later on.
Mhm.
That I don't remember.
Yeah, a little girl ran up to him and was like, "You have funny hair,
Oh, that, yeah.
or funny ears." No, it was funny ears.
Funny years. He's an elf.
And then ran off. But the responsible party ended up finding Noah and was talking to you guys about the problem with the model drones. Told you guys where they came from, and mid conversation, they came back and attacked.
Right. So then we defended, beat them back, chased them all the way over to the keep that was like 2 miles away or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Mhm.
It
It
was
was a while.
like on horseback. I think it was like a 15-minute ride.
Right.
Well, you threw
Yeah.
on horseback. Me and Oates are how to play catch up.
Yep.
Oh, right. I've forgotten to mention this whole time that Connor has a horse named Glenn.
Oh yeah.
His horse is Glenn. Yes.
The only
Yes.
horse in the party that's actually named.
Yep. Creoran also has a horse, but his name is Horse.
That's a
And
good name. You
I'm pretty sure
can't miss him.
Hey, you know what? It's better than Roach. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey. Roach is a good name. He survives the most impossible things like roaches do. You're out there fighting, you see Roach in the background just trotting along.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I think Revelor has a horse that technically isn't even his. I think that was just the one that I ended up on,
Yeah.
like, when I rode off from my previous encounters.
Yep.
So,
You just stole a horse.
Pretty much.
I acquired. I didn't mean to steal it.
Yep. He's not a crook.
And we chased them to that manor and began. They weren't really doing much when we got there.
Yeah, we fought our way through. Like, there was a garrison outside, and we murdered them all, got inside, and then they were docile. And we were like...
Well, we attacked them first. Like, the ones on the outside. They were kind of on patrol, but they weren't directly attacking us because we kind of snuck up on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about them that we noticed was that they would evolve.
Every time you killed one, the other
Right.
one would upgrade.
Yep.
Yep.
When we killed a lower, or the upper ranked ones, which they went from round to square to triangle. So whenever we'd kill an upper ranked one, a lower rank would promote,
Yeah.
I think is the right term for it, and change shape.
Yeah.
And
So it's
then we ended that session actually outside the manor
Yep.
Yep.
with Dandy getting knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
Yep. I learned that I was getting too brave. Well, it's true. Like, if any natural person, when you hang out with a strong group, you're thinking, I'm strong as well. And then you just get beat up by a bunch of mini robots. And just after that, it's like, no, okay, I found my place in the food chain. At a distance.
Yeah. That was pretty. That was a fun fight.
There was a lot of bad rolls on my end.
Right. What's interesting, I guess, for the hindsight, because, like, the drones are basically allies at this point, is that, like, they're given instructions
The DM said it.
and they cannot deter from those instructions. And the higher tier that they are, the more instructions they can have.
Yeah, so
So
how
basi-
do we not know that the instructions they were given was, hey, this new adventuring party that just showed up to our door, lie to them. I still
Maybe-
don't trust them.
Maybe instead of running away, you should have incited Alpha.
I met
There
Alpha for
was
half a second.
Scary guy.
I met
behind
Alpha
us.
for half a second. Alright, we'll get to that. That's
Yeah.
episode 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Which
the
is
next
right
one.
where we come back in, so yeah.
Yep.
Y'all met Alpha, y'all had a conversation. I met Alpha for 5 seconds, asked 5 questions, then got it out.
Yeah. So you guys fought your way through the courtyard and got into the building.
Mhm.
And inside of the building, it was dark, damp, musty, hadn't been, like, lived in for many years, it felt like. And the place was just mostly demolished. and you guys went through. It was a pretty cool map for that.
Well, it was, yeah.
I wish I had the shadow feature for that house. It would have been really cool.
And the
But,
bottom floor, the top second floor.
Yeah, you guys.
Some of the party spent like 15 minutes trying to break down a wall.
Yep, that happened.
Because they found a magic door that wouldn't open.
Yep.
So their next idea,
Break the wall next to
just
the
break the wall next to it. You don't
Yeah.
have to go through the door. And then we realized this mansion is actually not all that stable.
Yeah, there was a bunch of
Yeah.
dust and debris that really clouded your vision.
You know what? We'll come back to this.
Yeah. You guys ended up taking a short rest inside of the building.
Get some hit points back.
Yep. And began exploring, where you guys found a handful of various items, but every room or every other room had a different drone in there that had its own objective, but wasn't actually aggressive towards you until you were aggressive against it.
We didn't know that because we were always aggressive towards it.
Yes. Because you travel with Otar.
Yeah.
Well, and Dandy. You got Dandy, a fearful person of things unknown, with Otar, his weapon brother, who he goes, kill it. So yes.
Yeah, I think I actually have in my notes somewhere. I was like, well, apparently we're killing these things now.
Yeah, I actually recall that.
But
I had a few of you guys send me notes.
on the second floor is when we found the blueprints.
That's
In the
right.
Hallway.
Yep, that's also where you found the key to that room.
That was
Oh,
in
yeah, the
further
map.
doors, wasn't it? Or was it in the...
It was in the further corridor.
Further corridor.
Yeah.
But not only did we find that, we found the vials of acid that
Mhm.
Dandy took, corked them, took some empty vials as well, and that's when he started dabbling in alchemy.
We found an alchemist kit,
Yep.
or most of an alchemist kit, in a storage closet.
But yeah, we found the blueprints. I might have been the one to pick them up initially. Where's the blueprints to Project Katoon?
Yeah, you found
Which-
them first.
And that's the question to you guys for the most recent session of when did I start? It was that.
Right.
That is when I started dabbling. Okay, if we
For
have
sure.
acid this, well, I have this potion. I did a little bit of this. What does this create? And I've just been messing with it since.
Right.
Entrepreneur, Dandy.
But
So-
yeah, and have we talked much about Project Katoon for the chat? That's kind of because it's more
That was
like
all before chat, really.
Yeah,
That
we
was before
found that.
video.
there are some giant Titan-esque sort of
So-
Worms.
Something about past Titans and
creations.
building another one.
Yeah,
Well,
so
this was a worm titan. It was like the shape of a worm.
yeah, so the best that I can describe it is it's the size of a purple worm, but it is a stone and metal construct.
People do different sizes for purple worms. How big? We talking dune? We talking dune size worm?
I
We
haven't watched Dune, but this thing is at least 100 feet long.
So like a
and,
train sized.
It's like a train.
Huh?
Like a train.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, train.
Okay.
Just so everyone has context for how big this thing actually is.
So you're saying it's a monster. So a
It's
whole
made of stone and
person is not
metal.
going to be able to do it.
No.
Definitely not an earthworm.
No. This
Whole
would
person.
definitely be the closest thing to this. Okay. The closest thing to an earthworm this thing would be the Alaskan bullworm.
I almost got it.
So we got that, and we got a magic conch.
Yeah.
We just
All
fight
the
this
SpongeBob
worm
memes,
for
apparently.
Yeah.
fight this worm for a session. It's like, oh, we got it. Yeah, that was its tongue.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys found the blueprints signed by Knox and Marnie.
That's what the signatures
Um,
there were signatures. I didn't know.
Yeah. So
Actually, I
you
think I
guys-
wrote that down in my D&D Beyond notes.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think so because
Because that came up recently.
Yeah, and I ended up
Yes.
giving
Yes, it did.
those blueprints to Connor to hang on to because he was like, "Oh yeah, these are relevant to my interests."
Yeah, I'm interested in these. Can I hold on to these? Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
You guys found the key to the magical lock.
which I now
And-
have.
Yep.
Oh, the chain and the key. Yeah.
Yep,
And,
and there was another thing we found right
Yeah.
about that same time.
Yep. What'd you find?
That we found, well, in a dresser, I found a 3rd level daylight spell scroll, which has now been given to, I believe Connor has it.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm holding on to that.
Weren't you
Yeah.
trying to imbue that in a stone or something? Or was that a different scroll? Was that a
Oh,
different scroll?
Do I have enough?
that magical lock was actually part of. We found another vampire spawn in that room.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
That one, wait, he wasn't tied to the bed. How do we, no, he was just in
No,
the,
that one. It was just in the room,
it was just in the room.
Yeah. So.
and that lock was covering a trap door within the room.
Oh, that's right.
And I think he might have been either invisible or he was concealing his presence somehow, because I remember only a few of us actually saw like eyes or something like that.
Yeah, he was
top
hiding-
Corner, it was top corner of the room.
Yep. He was in one of the top corner of the room because after you guys tried bashing into the wall, he was trying to be as far away as possible.
Right. He woke up and was like, "Uh oh."
Who the heck?
But yeah, when you guys walked into the room, like there was like chicken remains everywhere,
They were feeding him.
and the magical lock was on that door, getting into it, and there was a tridrone.
Okay.
I don't remember. It was the pyramid shaped drone that was guarding the door. And then after you guys killed that, you guys used the lock, got the lock, fought the vampire, which was our first attempt at using minis.
Yeah, I remember that. That
Yes.
was cool.
It was a bit of a challenge,
Can't
but it
wait
was
for
really
all.
fun because like I had bought a 3D printer to make minis, and oh hi Ashira. Yeah, we tried our best, but it was difficult to manage Connor's mini since you were not there.
Right, and we're doing the roll 20, right? Yeah, this is roll 20. Wait, it's always been roll 20, but
Well, except for this one time.
right. And I think this is also a session where I was in Utah and I think I was getting pulled away by my roommates, and I think that's why I have a really shaky recollection when it came to Alpha.
Oh, okay.
Because they kept trying to pull me away, and I was like, I'm D&D, please leave me alone.
Right. But that was a fun fight, but it was difficult. I know that we've talked about wanting to try to bring the minis back and actually get some use out of my printer. We don't know. I guess we haven't really talked about it more than just that.
I have plenty of
That'd be
minis
fun.
if we ever go back to minis. I have things I can let you borrow. I have purple worms that you can use for your constructs in the future. I have,
Cool.
yeah, stuff.
I'm cool with
Yeah.
trying to do minis or doing roll 20, either one.
Yeah, like the
And there
benefit.
was a. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like the benefit to using the Roll20 is that like while you guys are away, you guys can
More
control
easily
your
see the map
characters.
and control them. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a one shot. We'll give it a shot with minis.
okay. I can do more high fives.
Yep.
If you want some one shots, I have plenty of one shot ideas.
Okay.
We can build.
Also, with that vampire, there was a kind of funny thing that was going on because none of us really knew how to kill it.
Oh, how to finish it off?
So, yeah, we just kind of did everything. See, I've got it in my notes. We killed it. I think Connor killed it with a stab or a slash. And then we chopped its head off. Otar Gallaghered the head. Just double Warhammer, I think.
Yep.
Or double
Yeah. it
double-handed
was-
his Warhammer.
Yep.
Just
Popped it like a
absolutely demolished the head. We broke the bed apart and were stabbing it with fragments of the bed. stabbing the heart.
Stakes.
Yeah.
Well, so before that happened, when you guys got the final blow on it,
It turned to dust.
no, you guys tossed it into the like. There's a hole in the
the
ground.
hole.
I was gonna say, I think Otar was
That-
actually the one who finished it off, or well, who knocked him
Yeah.
unconscious because he was the one who was like, I throw it into the hole.
Yeah, there was like a hole in the foundation.
Yep.
And
Wasn't
there
there,
was
like,
this
some
like
slime?
weird green acid
Yeah.
that like started getting absorbed by the vampire's body, and you're like, nope, pulling it out.
It was absorbed. Wait, so the way you described it, I want to confirm this. Was the acid being absorbed, or was the slime being absorbed into the body, or was the acid absorbing the body?
I think
What's
it
going
was-
in what?
I think the acid was going into the body.
That's what concerned us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he gets power off acid.
Right. Like we're getting ready for round 2, basically. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was fun, and then you guys. I think this was like our first session that went like longer than like 4 or 5 hours, because at that point you guys found the trapdoor inside of that vampire's room, and crawled down into
The tunnel.
the tunnel, which was your guys' first. It was my first dungeon.
Dungeon crawl.
Yep.
Which, in hindsight, like I really wish I would have stopped it there, because the rest of it was really kind of rushed.
Well, we were being rushed through this vampire hotel.
Well, that was afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys found out that they were feeding this vampire. Walked through the caves, found these, like, there was huge like amounts of like piping and barrels of this acid, the green acid that was just like everywhere, until you guys finally arrived into the main chasm room, where you guys found the like half-built Katoon, as well as the Pentadrone, who began calling you guys by different names.
I was not at the entrance with all of them. I stayed back to cover our rear.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I was a good 60 to 80 feet back.
Yeah.
Or however long message sends.
right.
Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, so Otar got called Zeno. Connor got called Adthor. Revelor was called Ephemeral. Dandy, you were called Glavendor. And Creorn was called Orion.
His father's name.
Which, and my father's name, Ephemeral, was what I got called. So
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, I
And
think
then we were told of 2 other council members, but none of us were called them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before that, I think like almost like we were getting ready to run. Like I remember, like everybody, like because I remember like
I was being
you-
super paranoid.
Well, because you thought it was a beholder,
I
basically.
thought it was a mechanical beholder. The way you
Essentially.
described that with eye tentacles, it's like,
Right.
you gotta be kidding me.
And
yeah, I was
then-
like, no,
And
you
then
can't.
I think Dandy actually did start running, if I remember
Well,
right.
because
Yeah.
I didn't start. I was holding the rear of the tunnel we entered in,
Yeah.
and I was holding that position, using messages to talk back and forth with Connor.
Yeah, I was
Right.
like, it hasn't attacked yet. It's talking.
And I heard I heard telepathically it
It's
speak,
like, yeah.
and I'm like, why is it calling? My out of character thought he's calling each of us by our father's names. I was an idiot,
Right.
and then I realized my
Right.
father's name is not Glavendor. And then I was just like, okay, so that's not it. But then it still was just calling us random names, so this thing is odd right off the bat. And then after that, not 20 minutes into your guys' conversation, another thing entered in the back tunnels and was heading our way.
Radar
Yeah.
ping.
And I got very nervous when it was making just a straight direction towards us. So that's when I ran back to you guys,
Right.
met the cavern. It's like, are we asking it questions? Because we need to go.
There's something coming.
There's something coming. He's like, how many questions do we have time to ask? And I think you said like 5. And I asked just 5 blurted questions. It's like, can we trust the council? Yes. Who was your creator? Who's you named the mechanical god?
Mechanis or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just like
Primus?
Primus. Yeah, and it's just, I think I said it's like, is he good? Yes. And then I have.
So I have some of those. The other 2 council member names that were mentioned when you guys because council was
Lilbine.
brought up was Lilbine and Ethel Addington.
Yeah, Ethel.
Ethel Addington.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Who built the Alpha? That was my first question. He said Primus. How long? Because we then learned at that point, it told us that Marcus was its captor.
Yep.
He was holding Alpha prisoner, and then we realized, hey, Marcus Mittalon, the old king of this world, is alive, and I don't think he's simply a human anymore. Yeah, he's
Marcus Talon enters the chat.
yeah
Behind you.
as the undead king that Ethel tried to warn us about.
okay, that's
Mine
really
won't
sad.
work.
I looked up at chat like someone named Marcus Italian. Like Jordan, I was like, no way.
Sweet,
Obviously,
represent.
but
There's more than one evil.
I remember that. Remember, there's more than one evil.
The undead king is Marcus. Marcus is keeping him prisoner. Has lived over 100 years now, which is nothing to you elves, but to us humans, it's a lot. We can trust Primus. We can trust the council. Alpha believes we are the council for whatever reason. And then that's the questions I was able to get off before we had to bolt because he was just down the hall. We gotta go. And then this drone's like, go this way. There's definitely no traps down this hallway to escape.
yeah, which
We can trust
I
Alpha.
don't think he specifically told us that there were no traps. He just
He said it was
the
a safe
only
exit.
way out.
Yes.
That's because Marcus was coming in behind us.
yeah, this was fun for me, and another reason why I wish I would have stopped it after the first vampire fight was because like I pulled out the timer on you guys.
Oh yeah.
Because like you guys could sit there and like ask it 1,000 questions and learn all of my lore, and I'm like, no, like
Maybe
Marcus
we need to
is
go
coming.
back. We need to go back and ask.
Maybe you could.
Marcus is... Winter's coming. Marcus is coming.
Which, by the way, that was a great moment because I'm pretty sure, I mean, you just like pulled out like a timer and just held it up, and we were all like, "Oh, we're on the clock now."
Yeah. We need to go.
like we don't know what this timer is, but it's bad.
Guys, the footsteps are getting closer.
Yep. So after
It was a 10-minute timer.
I think it was like 5 minutes.
Was it 5 minutes? I just know we had, by the time we stopped and we ran, it had like 10 seconds left.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's time to go.
And Otar,
And you were not showing us the timer either.
Nope.
Yeah.
when it went off, you would know.
Good evening.
Yeah, so you guys finished asking the last few questions and ran off, and Otar set a trap and put all of you guys into a cage.
No, he activated a trap.
Yeah, he set it off on accident. Yeah.
Because my stealth is superb.
Yeah, which is where you guys met Marcus Mittalon.
Oh, don't worry. It was two of us only in the cage, right? Only two of us got trapped
No,
in.
all of us.
We all got
Yeah.
trapped, but I was the one who was still stuck there when the rest of you had gotten out, and Marcus finally had caught up to us.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I remember me and one other were face to face with Mittalon with no bars in between us, and that's what scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, so you threw the bottle of acid. I think.
I threw it at the
That's
cage thing to
Yeah.
deteriorate so we can get the hell out.
And
Yeah.
I think Otar like smash it where,
To,
where
like,
it was
smash
where,
the
where it
weak
was
points or
weakened
something
and
like
gave
that.
us like an escape.
Yeah, I know Dandy was one of the last people left in the cage, which
Yeah.
is why he casted the minor
Invisible.
illusion
No, I didn't have high enough spells, so I think I casted.
Ethel.
Did I cast Ethel?
I think so. Actually, yeah, that's right. Now that you bring that up, I think you tried to like.
Yeah, you casted an
Prestidigitation.
image.
An image of Ethel
No.
to try and see if it'll deter him, but I think he just ignored that with true sight. Vampires.
You guys know what I remember?
Hmm.
You want to know what I remember?
What do you remember?
I remember just running.
We just ran.
I remember
We got
something.
away.
I remember something about a trap, and I remember that we beat it, and we just kept running.
Well, I specifically remember more because I remember being one of the last people essentially face to face with Mittalon.
Mm-hmm.
So it was me and you then.
Probably.
And I think basically he was talking to me, and like you managed to get out through
Yes.
the hole.
And then I cast minor illusion to try to give you a way of escaping. I guess I
Yes.
made Ethel.
Right. And then basically,
He said-
I don't remember the exact words that Marcus said.
He
I
said,
have
"Go."
it in
I have it.
quotes.
I have it.
Okay.
Go for it if you have it.
I
So
have
the
it
last
too.
thing
Yeah.
that he said to
Let's
you
give it to the
was
Gulchin has a silver tongue. Who the hell is Gulchin?
And
Gulchin has a
owes
silver
Marcus
tongue.
money.
and owes me money.
Right, and he said it like
Yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who that is?
I might know who Goldchin is, so.
No.
Oh, or I should say Revelor knows who Goldchin is, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, and I basically kind of let him say his piece, and then I used my last spell slot to Misty Step the fuck out of there,
Yeah.
because like I was.
Yep.
And you guys running the rest of the way out of that cage and emerging from outside was the end of that session.
Mm-hmm.
And it was night when we exited.
Yep.
And our horses were gone, Noah, you...
Yeah, Noah just came along. He's like, hey, they're horses. They might have
They've
gone.
been
Been
in-
on for hours.
They've
Take
been
the
gone
horses.
for 4 hours. Let's assume they're dead and take all their stuff of trying to escape.
But Marcus Mittalon brought his carriage. So
Just
we
the-
took
Yes.
his car and left.
Tar got a new carriage.
Yeah, we got a new carriage.
Crazy.
Oh, there was another thing which didn't end up panning out that happened during that vampire fight in the manor.
What's that?
Connor got bit.
Oh,
Right.
right.
I remember getting bit.
Right.
Yes, I do remember that.
There was a whole bit about like you going outside into the sun.
Yeah, of like, am I a
Yep.
vampire? And like, Connor was ready to just be like, kill me. I'm done. Like, if I'm a
Yep.
vampire, I will just walk into the sunlight and die. And
Yep.
it was like, nope,
It was
not a vampire.
it was a
Come on.
Vax situation from versing the girls. Am I going to turn into a vampire now? Look in a bloody mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
retract my
was,
question.
See the reflection in the window.
that was a scary thing because I was like, am I gonna be like a vampire paladin? Like, this is gonna be sick, but also Connor might just be like, nope, this is not the way I'm
You
gonna
know, I
live.
think okay. So, how cool would it be to at that point? Because at that point you guys just turned to level 4.
Mhm.
You turn into a vampire. By your next level up, make you do an Oathbreaker.
Womp womp womp.
Connor would be so distraught. He would like it would be really cool.
Like storyline, like completely just change the character.
Oh,
it
yeah.
would explain why
Connor-
this holy man went from a holy good man to not steal to gamble on the horses.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Connor. He's yeah. He
We should
would've-
cheat. What should we do? We should hold them back.
He's not the lawful good. Like we have to obey all the rules. He understands that we need money, and he's like, no, man. Like
He's the
we're not doing
realist.
anything terrible.
Praise
We're
Helm,
just-
the god of humans, except when my coin purse is empty.
I will protect the innocent. Coins are a different matter. They're
Oh, man.
not sentient. We can take all of them that we want.
Are you alive? Good. That's gonna be 10 silver to save your life. 10 silver. Hand it over.
Like, he has an interesting point of view on that. But yeah, there's like he would have gone like full on emo if he actually became a vampire, and when like Helm stopped giving him powers and whatnot, and like yeah, he would have gone full on depression emo vampire.
Don't worry, Danny would have been there to cheer you up, or cheer
He
himself.
might have gotten more depressed. If he...
Oh yeah, because it's on the internet that you guys are boyfriends.
No, Connor's like, no, this is not a thing, and you're like, kissy, and he's like, no.
Oh man.
I have a girl at home. Please stop.
Yeah.
But you do?
Oh, he didn't mention that, but
No,
yeah,
he didn't.
He started to get.
I gave you my heart about my family, and you're holding out
I thought
relationships
no,
on
you
me.
in what's this has
Oh,
you
yeah,
did
He mentioned that there was a girl.
he
this
mentioned
hasn't
that-
been
Oh,
published
okay.
yet, but I think you did mention it in the
It's
heart
like
to heart. So, yeah.
Before I left, like I just started like getting with the girl, and then it was like you have to go, and he's like,
Oh, okay. So it's not
Okay,
like you
cool.
don't have a girl. There is a girl.
He got
Those
the
are cool.
goodbye kiss.
yeah.
That doesn't count. Sorry. I'm sorry.
It was like, hey,
That's
I kind
what-
of like you.
Even
Oh, I
the,
guess that's
even the
what we told him.
hug that Dandy got has him on the fence, and it's just like,
You got a kiss on the cheek too.
oh, yeah, but that's the thing. It's just one of those things. It's like, is this the friend zone BF kiss, or is this the I have a chance kiss?
I tell you to ask her, but she can't speak.
Oh,
I'm learning sign language.
Yeah, but yeah, so Connor has a girl.
He has a girl. All right.
Don't need no boy. Connor don't need no man.
You know what's great is, so a friend of ours who hasn't even like watched the videos, but have like heard some of us talk about the sessions enough,
Yeah.
made the joke about you two hooking up, and I was just like, "Wait, did you start watching the videos?" And he was like, "No, why?" And I told him the situation where you guys got the flower, and,
Yep.
and he just died laughing.
Thank you, sweet. I'll pay something nice when we get home.
So session 7, you guys took Mittalon's cart back to a boon.
Stole that thing.
Otar. It's Otar's. He made it very firm and clear.
Yeah.
This is his cart.
Okay, fine, man.
Did some quick
Just get us out of here.
removal of the
The
tariff
symbol.
insignia and of the boards that were blocking out the windows. You guys got paid. Noah did say that he would pay you guys for doing that.
I spent the rest of the trip making a invisibility
Yep.
enchantment spell on the interior of that. So whenever you look inside, it simply looks like there is no one in the carriage.
Yep.
Except when you step inside, then you can just clearly see everyone.
You did that?
Yeah.
And it hasn't
That
been
carriage is
used yet.
so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I made it, because I wanted that if there was ever combat and people looked at the open window of this carriage, they look inside, it looks like no one's inside.
It has to. Well, it has to be triggered.
It has to be. I have to trigger it, but when I do trigger it, it doesn't. It's basically like a ritual. It doesn't cost me a spell slot, and it lasts for the same hour duration that invisibility does.
That's
So whenever we get into combat and someone's just like, pull over, we're robbing you, invisibility inside the carriage, me and whoever else is in there will have a surprise round if they open the carriage door and we just go, sword!
Yep.
I did not know about the carriage.
Inspiration was from Critical Role Campaign 2 when they have an invisibility carriage as well. That was awesome.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I have not watched Campaign 2.
It's
At
great.
all?
The first 3 episodes. Then I went to Japan for 2 years.
That's fair.
That's fair enough.
So, session 7.
Jesus Christ.
When you guys went back to the tavern, you guys got some pretty fun dreams.
Who's you
Some of
guys?
us did.
Everybody except
Everyone except for Creorn.
Creorn and
Yes.
Atar kind of got just a.
Okay, I guess.
Did I just dream again about Katoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I sent you the little YouTube clip of Katoon.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Andy had a dream?
You had a dream of you were falling, and before you landed, you were end up getting ground up in between gears, and it was just like a whole nightmare of being ground up and in between all of the machinations and stuff like that, because you had gone unconscious in that last endeavor.
Yes. Machines do scare me.
You woke up to a bit of realization.
Oh,
Oh.
The banging of chains
Yeah.
and looking up to a dwarf.
yeah. I may have had a dream that may have also been a bit of a flashback.
And Otar had a wet dream about your mother.
Yeah, that's fair. Can't blame him. She's hot.
And
Yeah,
Creorn,
he was like,
you
"No,
got the letter
my
from
mom's
your
hot."
father.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I did. I got a letter from my father during that time.
Basically entailing that he knew that you were looking for him or headed that way. Hope that you were well, but he had to go into Ephron to help his contact.
Yes.
All while not knowing you had same day shipping in your backpack.
Oh, I guess that's him.
Oh,
That's me.
yeah,
I have same day shipping.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of important to mention that Alpha did say that Ephemeral and Orion were brothers.
That's right,
Nice.
yeah. And while we didn't quite determine whether that was
Like just brother in arms.
brother in arms
Eskimo
or
brothers.
actual like blood relation
Yeah.
brothers. But and then I think that might have been in session 7 where Creorn and I had a little sit down about that. But
I think it was in 7, yes.
yeah, and then I think I don't know if I'm skipping too far ahead.
Oh, I don't.
But
I don't know.
I just remember that like Creorn and I had a sit down and I think I identified your bow while we were doing that.
No, that was later on.
Was that later?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that was maybe
Yeah.
9.
Okay.
So after you guys got your horses
Back.
and back.
Oh, and we got paid, and you guys didn't let Dandy know. that was nice.
You got paid.
Oh, I got paid, but I didn't know about if we killed more of them.
Oh, yeah.
We got paid more.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have actually been keeping count of how many we actually killed.
So, but as at that point, the next morning, like towards the afternoon, Jar's carriage was loaded with all the silver string from the spider sacks, the stone spider sacks, and he was basically putting like a crate cover over the cart, so it was kind of incognito. But on your guys' way out, there was a cart running as fast as they could with a bleeding man.
Right. We were all ready for a big fight for some reason.
Well, yeah, you guys.
Well,
were
I just
dead
didn't
from the
trust
night
them.
before.
Right.
These guys said that these guys stole from their cart, chased off other guards, but left the two commoners alone to run away.
That's right. I think
Nothing about that
Davey-
sounded right.
Davey put a suggestion on the.
I
link,
suggest
too.
you tell me the truth.
Tell me
Yeah,
the truth.
I was not believing
Just-
any of this.
Yeah.
Did not trust.
They
I
had some
don't trust
hired
anyone.
help, and the hired help was able to, like, wear off the other people
Mm.
long enough for them to basically just run for their lives.
I didn't believe that.
But come to find out that
It was true.
there was a group of dwarven gangsters, essentially, who was, like, raiding travelers.
West side? Oh wait, no, north side. Wait, which direction is the desert? North.
It's, like,
West. No,
West-
east.
uh,
Or no, we went
it
south.
is east.
It would
No.
Is it east side or west side? Like, what are we talking here?
east side, west side.
East side.
So...
We were like
Did I
south.
keep that
east
low
east
enough?
side.
Oh nope.
But like we went from here,
Ignore that Twitch.
right? And then did we go down here? Isn't this where the
No,
is?
you were, like, down here. So far, you guys have been, like, here.
Okay, so we basically just went south.
Yeah, you guys went south to a boon,
Center
Yeah, okay.
village.
Okay, that's what I thought.
and then
We
you
were
guys
just
were gonna
south.
head back up to here.
Oh,
and then
notes for
schools.
context of people wondering how I got the instrument. I also have a Tasagura instrument that I've created.
Yep.
Started in this town, and then got the strings later on at the place we're heading to.
Yeah.
I keep imagining like a shamisen.
Shamisen?
Yeah.
It's just
Um,
long neck, 3 strings. All
Yeah.
you need.
But so Jar, after finding out about this, he knew of 3 different ways to get back, and basically tasked you guys with what do you guys want to do.
We chose.
So you were given. There's what was supposed to be the easy way, but you guys know that there's a gang of bandits on the way there.
That's what we chose.
And it was the same way that you guys came. So now there's bandits. You've already fought in goblins and orcs. And then, hopefully, there shouldn't be any more skeletons at that cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
That was the easy way, which was also the longest way.
Right.
Then there was a second path that went around the mine, the opposite direction. But last he had known, the goblins and orcs had set up, like, tribes near there. And then the third way was to go through the mines, but there could be some wildlife. And you guys chose just the path that you guys had already known.
And there was one important distinction about the goblins that had attacked. One had a devil face on his cloak.
Yeah.
I actually remember something about yeah. There was some sort of devil face on a goblin cloak or something.
It was
Yeah.
the symbol of their group.
They're like
There was
clan
the
or something
dwarves.
like that.
Not the
The
goblins.
the dwarves.
Okay, yeah.
The bandits that attacked
Oh,
Nelki
the
and
fair-
Taruk.
Fair-
Yeah,
Fair
they were
face.
all.
Yep.
They all had like essentially like leather jackets that had the Farid Fiends
They're like-
insignia.
Hell's Angels.
They were
Yeah.
the 50s biker gang of
Yep.
of bandits.
Yeah. So you guys ended up going that path, and Otar did end up getting that next morning, got a weird doll that roughly looks like Otar. From that same little girl that made fun of him.
Okay.
And you guys chose that path, fought the dwarves that you guys ended up running into, where you met your cousin,
Yep.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Your alleged cousin,
Yep.
and we all sort of somewhat maybe believed you.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about?
I rolled
him?
high in deception.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that don't know, one of the thieves from the bandit group of the... I keep wanting to say fire ferrets, but that's not right.
Nope, that's
It's Cora,
Yeah.
yes.
The Ferret Fiends.
The Ferret Fiends. One of the Dwarven Ferret Fiends. After knocking him down, I realized when I got up to him, he's not unconscious. He was faking death. Faking going down as well. So he was still conscious as well, just faking it. And so I'm like, alright, let's see how far I'll take it. And I started looting his body. Found his coin purse, he let it go. Found his weapons, tossed it aside so he couldn't reach it. And then I found a note. The note was a letter from his wife. Apparently, their son is sick.
I have the note written down
Yeah.
if you'd like me to read it.
Go for it, because, yeah, I read that, and then dandy family flashbacks came through.
And I quote, Deuce Grill, I know you're not due payment from the fiends for a few more days, but Khalid, our son, is very ill. I am taking him to a healer, but I will be in the debt of the Palor Temple. Please, if you have anything to spare, I will be forever grateful. Disaster.
And so, after reading that, I realized he's doing what is necessary for his family, because it sounded like he is given in the past. So I dragged stealthily his body away from all of y'all. My stealth is high. And as I separated from the group, I told him to first wake the hell up so we could talk. I asked him if he was a family man. Was he doing this for his family? He said yes. I said, cool. I gave him back his coin pouch plus an extra, 500 gold?
Something like that. It was a good amount.
It was a good
Gave
amount.
him what?
Yep.
Remember,
And
Danny's
I-
been the rich one of the party.
Yeah.
I know, but like...
I threatened him, essentially, saying, this is going towards your family. You are going back to live with your family and not do this dangerous crap anymore.
Right.
Or if you die, you will leave them to fend for themselves. If I find you working this type of gig again, it will not go as smoothly. And then he gave the obvious quote of, well, I have no way of safely traveling back. I'm like, fine. Casted invisibility on him, walked him alongside me when I met back with you guys,
Right.
and hit him in the carriage.
Didn't you? Oh, it was like the next day or the next night that you guys...
It was
that
on
you were, like,
that night.
You had him...
During that night, I told him while we were in the carriage and you guys were setting up camp, I told him, here's what we're going to do. Because I don't have a lot of spell slots to just use on you.
Right.
I dyed his hair orange, curled it up fancy, used my makeup kit and everything, because I'm proficient in that too. And disguised him to make him look like a dwarven version of me. It was believable.
And you're like, hey guys, my
No,
cousin is
I
walking
didn't
through
say
the-"
that. I had him approach.
Right, yeah.
And as he approached, then obviously Creorn, with his perception being dumb, he was the first to spot him. And as
I think you mean ridiculous. Thank you.
ridiculously dumb, yes.
Damn your perception.
It's like a what, 18 passive? I see scent. He approached, the bow was arced, and then the deception happened where I was like, nope, this is my cousin. This is what this is going. And my deception was high enough to fool all of you. However, Creorn asked vital questions of who is your mother to the dwarf, and I was gonna play it off with the DM, hoping the DM would say the mother's name and just go, it's his mother, and hopefully the DM would say the name, but you didn't say that. What did you say?
Hold on.
It's like you said, like it's my mother, and I said it's
Yeah.
his mother. It's my mother. I'm like, you
Yeah, we didn't get to coordinate what we were gonna say.
say your mother's name.
Sorry, I needed to make sure that I was muted
Oh, gotcha.
because that would have sucked.
It's casual farting on Discord or Twitch
Well,
streams.
I just didn't want to,
But you hear it's natural. It
Whatever.
happens. It's comedy.
I just wanted to make sure that like the only person coming through was Creorn.
But yeah,
Yeah, we
I
didn't
managed
get to
to
coordinate
bluff.
that.
Yeah, no, I had to bluff my way through. It's a high deception for a
Yeah.
reason. I'm a bard. Once
It
convincing him that
was
he
it was a close one too. I think. Like
yeah, you
rolled-
almost fired, and if you did, we would have had even more issues.
Yeah. I think you rolled like a 18 and I rolled a 17 or
Yeah, it
something
was
like that.
Dead
Like,
close. Yeah.
it
very
was
close.
very, very close to me because Dandy said it's his mother, and what we know now to be the bandit said
Yeah.
it's my mom, and I was like,
Dumbest response.
nope, not good enough.
Yeah, that's not good. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, so you guys.
I had the dwarf then just spend the night in the carriage,
Yep.
but let them know they were there, and I basically made a double confirmation saying, hey, he has 500 gold on him. That's his. So he's not going to rob from you guys. Leave him alone. He just needs a ride to this place. And so we got him back into town. He went off to do God knows what. Who knows if he held true to his word. I'm going to hold true to mine. If I see you in any other job that has to deal with robbing again, first question is, how's the sun? Just kidding. Warren,
Smash him
once.
with a guitar.
Yeah.
No, I have a sword.
Well, we'll probably run into the Ferret Fiends again at some point.
But if he's part of the Fair Fiends, I told him to
Right.
leave that group.
If
okay?
we
And
find him again, it's like, buddy,
I gave you an out.
stop.
I gave you an out.
So yeah, you guys spent your guys' first night under the stars. Your first night actually camping,
Mm-hmm.
not in a tavern.
Mhm.
And Jar asked you to play him a lullaby.
I played the copyright Narnia lullaby.
So that was your first night. You guys' first night under the stars. Then the next night, you guys made it back into Tariff, where some of you guys stopped at the Tariff home. The other of you guys,
We went to the first because the stable boy is a very important mile marker.
oh my gosh, yes,
Got the
that was
carriage
this
to the stable boy. Otar then very encouraged him first with coin to then repaint the carriage. Stable boy said, "I can't do that. I don't have paint." Otar then said, "You will paint this a different color, or consequences will happen."
Yep.
Scared the crap out of this little stable boy.
And the
Yeah.
obvious reply was, "I'll see what I can do with no paint."
Yeah.
What did he end up doing?
He threw like mud or whatever
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, he was just throwing mud
Basically,
at
he
it.
threw, like he had like he made it was mud and just very watery, and he basically just made a stain for it.
I had a presentation all of it off at the end of the day, but that's the next day. Then
You guys found something more fun than threatening the stable.
no, yeah. Afterwards, me and Notar, we went straight to Sue's place.
Yep.
We found something hilarious.
Yeah. Go ahead. What'd you find?
We got to the door, met it's not Ethel, it's Ekia.
Sarah?
No,
Oh,
painting. Ekna.
Oh, okay.
Etate he a
Yeah.
hecta.
Ekta, yeah. I said, "How's it going?" She said, "Not as good." We then heard the colliding of a fallen barrel and destruction on the inside. I said, "Let us in." Tipped the coin. Doors open. I looked inside. The entire floor is a good inch high of ale.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this.
And Sarah is running the desk.
So there wasn't any destruction what it was.
One cast
you
of
guys,
veil, as Otar would defend. I'm speaking for Otar. One cast of veil was destroyed. How
Well,
dare she?
No, the cast wasn't destroyed. She tried to tap it and failed. So when you guys got up the porch, you guys you guys stepped into like a puddle, and everything smelled of ale.
She destroyed perfectly good ale.
And she attempted to put a tap into it, and you got to hit it with a good hammer, and she just didn't have the strength. So she only got halfway in, and it just started pouring out.
You destroyed ale. How dare you,
Yeah,
sir?
and it's been kind of like an ongoing theme. I know we haven't quite mentioned it, but like Sarah and her brother Aaron are absolute klutzes. Like their shop is mostly broken glass.
Yeah. They're scientists. They're alchemists. Yeah. But we then get me and Sarah, because Otar just drank. Me and Sarah then got to play for the next 2 hours. We're gonna try and figure out where the mop is.
Yeah.
Back to the mansion with you guys. We'll get
My
back
bad.
to.
So at this point, Revelor and Creorn, you guys had your own little heart-to-heart too.
Right, that was when
Yep.
we had that session.
Yep.
Creor jumped up onto a roof, and I kind of scrambled my way up with my
Yep.
terrible strength / dex.
Because our first stop was going to Sarah's, and I think it was just to go get more potions or something like that.
Right.
I think we were just gonna go see about
Hey.
healing potions.
1 second, TJ.
Yep.
We will be back.
We'll be
for the- yeah.
right back.
After
Everyone for the
That's-
stream,
that's
we're
when
going to be right
That's
back.
when you
I'm
click
trying
on
to
the
find
right
We'll be
button.
right back.
There it is. The be right back.
Little break.
I thought I had to do something with the cat.
All right, sorry about that.
You're back.
Yep. All right. What was the last thing we mentioned? So it was picking up after Sarah.
These guys had a
Ayo.
heart-to-heart.
Oh
Heart to
yeah,
heart.
so it was me and Creorn.
Mm-hmm.
We got,
And
like,
yeah,
right-
like I said, like you had jumped up onto a roof, and I kind of barely managed to pass a roll to scramble up to hang out with you.
Yep.
And yeah, we kind of just had like a little heart to heart about our dads possibly being related, so maybe we might be brothers, or cousins, cousins technically, but like our dads might be
Yeah.
brothers, so we might be cousins. And given the way the war is going, we might be the only family that the two of us have left at this point. We're not sure yet, just because we don't know where our dads are, or even really the rest of our family at this point.
Yeah, it's been a rocky ride
Yeah.
for Revelor and I.
Yeah. And then I cast Identify on Creorn's bow, so we could he couldn't figure out what it did because it wasn't strung yet, and
Yep.
and so yeah, I just cast Identify on it. We figured that out, which teased Creorn even more. So it's like I gotta
Oh
get this
my
thing
God.
strung so
Yeah.
I can
So
use
it's
it now.
a +1 bow that had a gem on it that would allow him to cast Hunter's Mark 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Make him a ranger if you won't.
Yeah.
Multi-class.
Yeah.
Yes, basically, like a fighter that's trying to be a ranger
Yeah.
felt a little underpowered
I
in
mean-
those early levels.
I mean, fighters can do bows just fine.
Yeah,
Rangers
absolutely.
have a whole different.
they have a whole archetype for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
With that in mind,
They're-
as subtext, the reason why they're on a random house, it is actually Sarah the Alchemist's place that they're waiting for Sarah, who's at the tavern with us trying to clean the place up.
Yeah.
Just for context.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
While
We went to
Sue-
Sarah's to go get like health potions or something like that.
Yeah.
And she
And
is
her
not
shop
there.
was locked up, and we were like, "Well, we'll just wait around for a minute then."
So you sat on her roof.
And
Yes.
then you, Jar, and Sue. Sue came out of the Tariff Manor.
Mm.
And you all ended up just walking together.
Yeah, we
to-
went.
Oh, she was already pissed.
We went to
wasn't she?
Matthew.
She like stormed out of the manor as well.
Yeah. So, and it was at that point. So you all walked back over to the tavern, saw the mess that it was in. She opened the hidden closet. That's where the broom and the mop were.
A hidden closet in the wall. She
Yeah.
hit a wall. It opened, and a broom came out.
Hey, you know what? I didn't install a mop closet into that house until it was needed. Okay. So yeah, you guys. She came in, finished tapping it, poured a few drinks, and you guys spent the next, however long cleaning it out.
Yep.
But at that point, she also explained to you guys that her family. She showed you guys the letter that her
Mhm.
family was stuck in Ephron, needed help getting out.
Her dwarven family.
Her dwarven.
Yeah.
I still. It's been so long. I've always imagined her as one. I'm still struggling to like shrink her down
Yeah.
and change her hair color.
I'll show you her token later.
Okay.
But so she asks Jar and you guys, since you guys are accompanying Jar to Kusha, basically for a ride to go talk to a general at the camp right outside of Kusha, military
Mhm.
camp right outside of Kusha. You guys agreed. Sarah tasked you guys with finding a bison horn and some flowers.
Yep.
And you guys headed out the next morning. Got
And I did a little bit of shopping. Got the traps for the stone bisons, things like that. Just
from Nens.
getting some information
I
on
feel
them.
like I need to do another pause point. Dandy sporadic. I'm sorry, chat. Previously to the flower getting, during the
Previously
episode
on
1 to
Dandy's
2,
Shenanigans.
yeah, during Danny shenanigans, Dandy disguised himself as a thin
Oh yeah.
worker for the volcano that was nearby this place. a thin miner who just needed assistance. His name is Gerald, not to be confused with Geralt.
Just Gerald.
Gerald. And
Jerry.
he has convinced Sue to give him discounts on potions so he can
Sarah.
continue working in the mine. And during the flower things where she promised to give these guys, what?
500 gold per.
500 per flower. Gerald came
Yep.
from, quote unquote, the mining area, walked inside, said, hey, I'm doing better. Your potions really saved me, buttering her up. What else can I do to get on your good side to get more discounts? She let him know there are flowers that he can get, and she offered to pay him 700 a pop. So yeah, keep that footnote in mind when
That
you
will
watch
come in handy
these
later,
episodes.
Yeah. And he does show up in that first. No, not the first one. That's one of the more recent ones. No, that's the Heart to Heart one.
Heart to heart.
That's the one that hasn't been posted yet.
Yeah.
But he is mentioned on the Into the Cave.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys gather your things, head with with Sue and Jar, begin heading up to Kusha, where Dandy gets a book.
Reads one or yeah,
The Igor Batarli's.
adventure.
Yep.
Learned some interesting things that I will keep to myself for now.
Yeah.
And it was on our way north that we encounter somebody familiar and something familiar.
Yeah. So, on your way north, you guys pass the main road that would have taken you to Alta Nova, and you guys come across a cart that looks familiar, and a person with two twin boys that look familiar.
Yes. Halvor was his name, I believe.
Yes, actually,
Halvor.
Halvor.
I'm sure you
and
can
his
remember
two
that.
twin-
I can remember that. I also looked it up maybe 20 minutes ago.
And by look it up, he means look at my binder that's sitting.
No,
next
it's
to him.
in my own notes. I did make notes of him. I was like,
It's
okay,
also
I
in my notes.
I know the plot twist.
plot twist. I did write down.
Yeah. So Halvor is the thief that was mentioned much earlier in the stream of.
The person I helped out.
Yep.
He stole from me. I chased down, and then I was like, "Oh, he's just trying to like feed his two kids. He's not just just a thief. Like, here's some more gold, man." And he was able to get back on his feet, which
Yeah.
was awesome.
Which is, I do want to say, it was actually not something I anticipated.
Yeah, you expected me to like beat the crap out of him and
No,
turn him in
well,
or
so
something.
possibly, it's always an option, but I also intentionally gave you 2 weeks worth of food for a 1 week adventure, and like I stated it, made sure you wrote it down, and so when you came across and he nabbed a bag of food, like it wasn't a lot for three people. Like, I kind of expected you to give him, like, another week's worth of rations and then just kind of that be that. But instead, you gave him gold.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Because that was the only money I had at the time.
Well,
and
right.
I felt really bad for the guy, and I was like, here, don't steal from people. Just...
Yeah.
Like,
and that was so much better. I didn't even think of that being of an option because the gold will just make his life so much better.
Mhm.
And as you guys see, like, it did. He got himself cleaned up. He got his kids cleaned up. He managed to get into Alta Nova.
And now he's working for Orion.
And he got hired by Creorn's father, Orion, to take the cart back to Widmer with the, handful of supplies that he was able to manage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Orion gave the kids like a toy sword and shield and a couple of like toy daggers.
Yeah, I was like,
The
I was
kids
just
running
like
around with.
play fighting with them while you guys
Yeah.
talked and whatnot.
Yeah. And that little trio
personally some of my like 3 favorite NPCs.
You're welcome.
They're gonna die. I hope you know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch them die, and I'm gonna be asking,
The BBG says, choose your friends or these kids.
how many spell slots can I use at once to divine smite this man?
That
Can I do
depends.
that?
How many concentration stones do you have?
Oh jeez.
This guy's just gonna
Power-
like
power up
Infinity
concentration.
Stones.
And
Well,
then
think
just
about
like one.
So if you can initiate a concentration stone with a bonus action,
Yep.
give him 4 of them. Bonus action, action, bonus action, action with action surge. Hates it, he could do it again.
That's so ridiculous.
That'd be-
He could do 6. He could do 3 bonus actions and 3 actions. You give him enough stones,
I mean,
he'd be a flying disco ball.
at that point, you should just make it where he takes all his actions and attacks at once, and then he fires. In our point of view, in the 6 seconds, he fires the one arrow that just shatters in the many, and just
Yeah.
missiles launches at him.
But so that was fun. Yeah, you got to play around with a kid. The one kid with the daggers like scared Dandy by like appearing out from behind you and like leapfrogging over you.
My stealth is good. My perception's crap.
But that was fun. You guys stopped and had lunch with them and hung out with the kids, and then traveled on to
And then you got-
Stonetail Ranch.
But then y'all learned that Dandy also knows how to cook as well. I am good for all parties. I am a very handy man.
I think Sue might argue.
I cook good sir.
She altered it a little.
But that's because she's the tavern owner. She has the more adequate. I am a traveler owner.
She also
cook on
brought
the go.
her own like spices and,
Yep.
and her own rations
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I'm
So,
catching up. I got my bag of coldine. I'm getting good.
but yeah, that first night in Stonetail Ranch, Jar asked you to sing another lullaby to put him to sleep, and that attracted the attention of
Oh yeah.
one traveling band of bards.
Yep.
So that's how those guys came along.
Yeah.
Okay.
They heard the music and they were like, "Hey, we can play music."
I thought that was gonna be a great idea.
And like they were young, you know, they were college students at the local Bard College,
Mm-hmm.
and
The Stone Beach Institute of Music and Art.
and so you guys had after Creorn
Shoot us
being a
away from the
party
carriage.
pooper and threatening everyone he meets. Yeah,
They
you guys away.
woke me up.
The get off my lawn, Grandpa got up.
Creon was not happy, and
Creon's
I'm
never
pretty sure
happy.
Connor was in that same boat of like, go away.
Yeah.
Aren't you a
I
full elf?
pulled out an arrow. I pulled out an arrow and I held it to the strings of their instruments and said, "Shut up or your instruments die." I didn't threaten the people or the bards. I threatened their instruments.
The instruments are their lives.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like threatening their child.
Yeah.
Especially Fan, like his was like custom made. He made his himself to, you know, it's got like a kind of like a trumpet horn coming out of the fiddle. But yeah, you guys kind of walked away and
We
some
walked a
of you
good
guys
distance away, 60 feet, I believe.
played some copyrighted music and
That we can't replay. Yeah.
but that was fun. And then you got really teary eyed.
Yeah. And I think
Dandy was during the emotion of all of it, as insight to now knowing, because we're way past that point now. Danny was reminded of his mother playing along with her. She's the one that taught him how to use instruments and use them for magic. And when they played, he was brought back to the memory of the family gathered around a campfire, singing their campfire songs. I don't know why the SpongeBob meme just came to my mind. It's a serious
Singing
moment.
the campfire song.
Yes. But so after that happened, he was just brought back to the memory of how his family deserted him, and it was just too much to handle. And by all means, he was impressed with the Dragonborn, Yeah. Gender means nothing to Dandy. It's the
SpongeBob memes.
rarity. Yeah, it's just
Get a counter for SpongeBob memes, and then a counter for the Last Airbender memes.
yeah.
Sure.
And
Anyway.
so Dandy got a little too emotional and enraged once again, and just couldn't play anymore. So he went back to his carriage
Yeah.
and called it a night. You know, they probably got the wrong idea. The bar people are just like, well, we made him angry. But no. On top of that, I don't know who rolled the high perception, most likely Creorn. You found the parchment in the morning that Dandy
Oh,
wrote.
he handed it to me.
I
No,
did
no.
not. You found it.
No,
There's
different.
no way.
Oh.
He's talking about the book.
Oh, not the
yeah,
book.
I was
No.
thinking of the book.
I'm talking about the parchment to the song that Dandy is now mid-writing. Finished now, but mid-writing.
Yes. Yeah, I think I found it like outside your carriage when I went to guard
Yeah.
when I started my guard shift.
Dandy opened the doors and didn't realize he didn't realize it was written, and
Yeah.
moved on without knowing. Came back, found it, and then tucked it away.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know you know.
One more thing that came up that, if you remember it, I'll let you bring it up. We gotta wrap up. We're at
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of closing on time.
Coming up on 3
But-
hours, yeah.
After you went to bed, the Dragonborn bard known as Faye and Ren kind of had a heart-to-heart with you.
Yeah, because I remember because I was the only one who didn't, because I only have the 4 hours, so
Yeah.
I was like, sure, I'll follow along and watch the
Yeah.
music, so yeah.
Do you remember much about like what you guys talked about?
Don't specifically remember that, no.
Okay. So, long story short, he told you it was a story for a story.
That's right.
And
Yes.
he told you the story of some children. Told you a story about a father who spent many years in hiding, who dedicated his life to protecting his children, until one day he snapped and he killed all of his children and ran away. And at this point, not only the character, but almost me, in a teary-eyed kind of like sob, he passed out drunk saying, "One day I will kill my father."
That's
Um,
right. So I remember because I traded
And
him. I traded him the story of basically of us running into L.
Yep.
And then he told
Mhm.
me that story. Yeah.
And I mean, Creorn wasn't there, but there was a lot more to that story too, because he talks about how this dragon went on to raise a city, like RAZE, destroy a city, which I think, am I remembering the story right? And that kind of started the war.
Yeah.
If
so,
I'm remembering the story correctly.
Yeah. So
But again,
after
Creorn
after he
wasn't
killed-
there, so
After he killed his children, he went on to, raise havoc,
mhm.
and was one of the many dragons that attacked Mittalon.
This is why I was saying Fane was important. And the fact, but I wasn't there, so I sort of checked out because he told us all
Well,
this
sorry,
lore.
I shouldn't say dragon, but he was a dragon born, and
Yeah.
you
Father.
guys can probably put the pieces
Father,
together.
yeah.
It was never actually
Yeah.
said that he was a dragon, but
Yeah.
after killing all of his children, he went on to raise havoc. You guys went to bed. The Dragonborn Bard left you guys a book, or left
Yeah.
you a book that would lead you back to the Bard, the Bardic College.
I still haven't gotten that yet.
Oh, I don't actually have anything written for that. Sorry.
I just have it as a college book from Bard.
That's all
Yep.
it was.
Yep.
That was supposed to be
And
your
it is-
inspiration for your level.
Yep.
It is titled Turn of Phrase.
Yeah. And there was an author in there somewhere. Laurel
Wildfeather.
Yep. Property is
Because
Stone
it was during my guard shift that it was given because Fayan left earlier than everybody
Yeah.
else woke up. And then he gave me half a bottle of liquor.
Nice.
Well, he left it for Dandy, but whatever.
He gave me a half bottle of liquor.
Danny will never know.
All right, so rapidly.
Look, I gave you the book at least.
Yeah. Which I had to. I think I messaged you. I was like, stop
Yeah.
hoarding everything.
I was gonna read the book and just decide what to do with it, and then the DM was like, "Please give that to him. It's part of his leveling." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I figured it was just some book.
And there wasn't actually anything.
It's like,
written for
Who
it.
even reads anyway? Just toxic.
Just like bard to bard, I figured it's like, "Hey, I got a lot of good stories from this," and I was like, "Oh, this could be interesting." And then DM was like, "Please give that to him."
That's how I learned
Yeah.
some of my spells.
Well, because I accidentally leveled you guys up a session early. Because he was supposed to have that book for his level, and I forgot mid session. But so you guys woke up from that. You guys traveled, finally arrived to Kusha, turning in your first mission. You guys got paid a lot. You got your bow strung,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys stayed at the stuffed llama.
Yep,
Stuff
and it was
long.
on our way to Kusha that we did get the stone bison horn.
Yes, that did happen. You
Yes.
guys ended up using the wand of webs.
Yeah, to trap one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And break its horn off.
So how many sessions do we have between the one we're reviewing now to current?
Well, we only
we
have to go to
are
10.
reviewing.
Oh, we're just reviewing the first 10.
Yeah.
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 So
It's everything that we haven't
just
recorded.
finishing session 9 right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we just have one session left.
I was about to say, like, we have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Should we, like, shotgun these things? But, right. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
There was a lot that happened in between session 9 and where we started recording, because we're only halfway through session 9 right now.
Right.
No, this is the end of it. Well, most of the end of it.
Significant.
Yeah, there was
So you guys.
there was some other stuff that happened, but yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing that happened after you guys got to Kusha is you guys met Haya.
Mhm.
You
And
had-
then we also find out who Glavendor is.
You guys find out who Glavador is. So you guys you guys go and talk to Raccoon, Captain Raccoon, which was
It rhymes with doom.
okay. Naruto memes.
I'm just thinking of a
Yeah,
raccoon.
abridged means whatever. Anyway.
So in Kusha, you get asked to do a speech.
Yes.
Right, that was a speech that I took so long. You guys were like, "Oh, we can just skip." I was like, "No, hold on. I just need to get into the headspace." And I looked
Well-
up some helm stuff.
It's not that I was wanting to skip. I actually had the spell. What's it called?
Oh, the
Inspiring
Inspiring
speech.
leader speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to just full on outstage you and go, "This is how you do it." I was going to step up and I was going to inspire speech everyone and then go back down. It's not that hard. But then when you gave your speech, I'm like, "No, he's got
That was
this."
good.
Which
yeah.
and I'm glad it turned out that way.
Yeah.
Your speech was awesome.
I kind of wish we had been recording at that
I
point.
do too.
But like,
Did we
Mhm.
not record that? Set?
That
No.
session was before recording.
That's what we're
But we-
reviewing.
Haven't. But you've recorded all the sessions.
No, we only started recording when the cave started.
yeah,
Into the Cave was the first session.
that's why we're doing this. Is because
I
we
was
don't
wondering, I
have
was like,
recordings.
I thought you have them all and that you're posting them,
No.
but this is the.
We're
This
doing
is the
everything
this
before
is the
recording.
recap.
Everything
Caps that-
before 1 through 10.
I now fully understand.
Oh my god!
It's the last light bulb.
I thought everything had been recorded because I thought you had been I thought you had. Right, you did OBS stuff in. Not while I was. I thought that everything had been recorded for your own.
This
notes.
session is this on our YouTube is no longer going to be called Origins. It's going to be called The Last Light Bulb.
I thought that you had stated before that you were recording every session for your notes, and I thought then you were just going to be posting those like after he edited them. I did not know that it was after session 10 that they finally started getting them recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what's been going up.
So that was the point of the Origins, is because I don't
Yeah.
have.
Well, maybe I'm playing a bit of the role of the audience. Of like, oh, connecting things, and you're like, oh, that was a thing? Wow!
So old it's new again.
Yeah.
But yes, Connor gives an amazing, inspiring speech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about
Townsfolk.
Helm and about they were doing
And I-
God's work,
Yep.
and they as downtrodden and demoralized as they are, like they're literally doing their God's work, and that they should be proud about that or something like that,
Yeah.
along those lines.
It was very intense. It was very touching. I gave you inspiration for it.
That's right.
I already
yeah.
had inspiration.
Oh,
And
okay.
you're like, I would give you inspiration, but I already had it. Then you
Yeah.
didn't use it.
Can't stack it.
But afterwards, I finished, and you guys were all like silent.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was epic.
okay.
Oh, and I think like me and Dandy were like putting like imagery
Oh, yeah,
and
you guys were,
music
like-
behind him to make it better. Like
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that was cool.
Oh, I played music to give him inspiration.
Yeah,
it was a
and I was-
bardic inspiration. For
I
him
was
to-
throwing like some imagery behind him.
So you guys, after that, you guys went and talked to Captain Raccoon, and he basically explained to you guys that he sent a group of the Ferret Fiends into Ephron to help get people out.
Yep.
And you guys got an encoded message from someone named Goldchin
Yes.
saying that they had someone in custody. They were waiting until he woke up for questioning and something along those lines. You also found out that he couldn't send in just Iornian army because Glavendor wouldn't let them.
Yeah.
And Glavendor is part of the head council in Calpheon, which is the capital of Iorn, which is like who he gets like his direct orders from.
Mm-hmm.
You guys also asked like questioning about like how a mute tavern owner dwarf got to meet this lady or meet Raccoon, and was explaining to you guys that like she was like the first person to kind of help him outside of losing a battle in Ephron. You guys left. You guys saw what is later described as Mittalon's castle in the distance.
Yeah, and we were told like some gnome.
Yep.
It was like
Some rich gnome now lives there.
right, and then
Yeah.
only later on were we told about some gnome that was close to Mittalon. We're like, freak! We should have gone there.
Knox.
But we were like, cool castle. Don't need to go there.
Then you guys at that point you're like, there's no need to waste any time. Let's get Sue back to Tariff and start headed into the cave. You guys
Yep.
spent your first night at Stonetail Ranch again, which is where you guys spent the night. You guys got raided of all of your food rations.
Right.
What?
Because you fell asleep on your shift.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
I don't remember this.
You claimed
so-
to not remember. You claimed
You
that.
claimed something magically put you to sleep.
What happened?
Yeah. So you guys woke up and like everything in your guys' bags of holding, like your bags of holding were turned inside out, and anything that was edible was removed unless it was in like a hard container. So like all of your potions and all like that stuff was fine, but like any food.
Wasn't some animal?
So what you guys don't know is that it was a pack of hyenas.
Oh.
They didn't just kill me?
No,
I think I just...
they're just scavengers.
Right. I think when you described, like, nothing in a hard container, I was like, oh, it wasn't people then. It was just something
Yeah.
sniffling around.
Yep.
Ate all the food and then left.
Yep, and that's essentially what happened. But you guys woke up to some racing.
Yeah.
Horse racing.
Which,
And let's see how quickly we can wrap up this adventure.
Okay.
uh,
We made bets.
I'm starting to run short on time too, so we got to make it very quick.
We made bets.
We
decided
have something to do in less than 30 minutes.
we made bets. We bet on the underdog. We magically buffed the underdog.
I showed
Underdog.
up out of the blue.
Underdog was almost winning. Then he decides, nah, I'm gonna shoot a horse.
That's
And
not at all how it happened.
he was like, I'm gonna mess with the race anyway, even though we're already messed with it and we're probably gonna win.
That's not how it happened. Here's how it
He
happened.
shot it died, people ran to the money booth, he went in and stole all the money, riot almost
Allegedly.
ensued. We left. That's
yet-
the bullet points.
And none of us actually know this. None of our characters know this except for
You
him.
do now.
Well, yeah. It's,
yeah, it was revealed recently that, like, yeah, he straight
During
up-
the heart
Yeah.
to heart. Yep.
yeah.
During Heart to Heart, it was revealed.
That's
Yep.
future.
So
yeah.
here's how it actually went down. I'm out collecting food for these guys because I feel bad. I'm getting them their breakfast and food for the rest of the journey back home. I go back and meet them. I find out, hey, we betted on horses. Okay, how is like? And they ask me, how can you help out? We need to buff this horse to make sure it wins. I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do. I step away from the group, not realizing that their horse is already winning because I didn't ask them which horse are we betting on. So I come around the corner, see the horses there. I'm like, all right, where's the popular one? And they're like, oh, okay, they voted for the underdog. Oh, the underdog's in first place. I'm just gonna shoot the ground. Roll the dice. Nat 20. Nah, that's a headshot. I shoot the horse in the face. Horse drops dead in one shot. I'm like, didn't expect that, but that worked. And the crowd starts getting angry. I turn invisible, and the crowd chases me. I'm like, okay, time to blend in with the crowd. Just like my family taught me. Blend in with the crowd. Crowd gets angry. Goes back to treasure chest. They yell at the people to give them back their money. I'm like, this is a good distraction. Just like my family taught me. Turned invisible. Went back. Stole the treasure chest as Otar distracts. I got the money. I got the stuff. No one knows it's me. I get back to the cart. Otar gets upset. I look at Otar. Message him. I got the money. We're good. Otar quiets down.
Yeah, Connor's like trying to calm him down the whole time, and suddenly he's like, okay, fine.
Exactly. And then you all come over and then assume automatically, Dandy, where were you? Dandy, what'd you do? This is like, I've been next to the cart eating with Sue because apparently stealing a potion is bad. I'm not going to tell you I stole an entire chest of money.
And so then we left. I think Krioran rolled high enough insight that he knew or something.
He knew something was up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Yep.
like that,
I rolled and knew that you were lying, but didn't. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we left, and you convinced Connor. Connor was like, nope, all right.
Yep.
He's a good man. He wouldn't do this.
Yep.
Oh,
Only
late-
later was he like, no, man, you're a freaking thief.
No, because late in the night, that night, I decided he's like, I should probably give them their money back from the weddings. Here's 200, here's 200, here's
Yeah.
200, here's 200,
Yeah.
He
here's
started
200.
passing out money. He's like, how do you have... Where does money come from?
I'm rich.
Oh.
Yep. So you guys got back into Tariff. Sue back to her tavern. A few of you guys went to the lava cave and met Hawk and Dirk the night before.
Right. Me and Krioran went, met Hawk and Dirk the night before. Oh yeah, we all went, like, confirmed that this was a thing that we could do.
Yep.
And then did it the next day, and oh my goodness, the dwarf running the mining operations in the lava cave was the dwarf vampire that the witch had warned us about.
Yep.
Who would have
Who knew?
known?
We didn't check his teeth. That was on us.
Yeah.
He tried. Crayon tried.
Yeah, he tried to like inside him and look at him and stuff, and
I should
I
make
rolled
it.
both.
And
I rolled for both insight and perception and just failed. I was looking at his teeth and I didn't roll high enough because of his beard or something like that.
yeah.
yeah, I just thought I was like he's just being paranoid.
Yeah, right.
I did not think that he was like putting two and two together. I just thought he was
Totally
being
didn't.
paranoid.
Well, it's like it was kind of great that you guys showed up at night because like there's two supervisors. There's day shift and there's night shift. You guys showed up at night. You got Hawk and Dirk. You guys showed up at day. You got Sakun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
And-
you guys later made piss his pants.
That's his fault.
right. Yeah, we
Right.
were a little mad.
On the
Yeah.
final note of Dandy shenanigans, during this entire talk of episode, what was it, 4? When did we meet Mittalon?
Oh, shoot.
6?
Eventually.
4? Essentially, from when we met Mittalon, the undead vampire king, till this point, Dandy has told every single person that he's come across, vampires are real, they are trying to take over, the undead king of Mittalon is back, do something about it.
Okay, crazy guy.
I did my due diligence.
Okay, Doomsday Sayer.
But I think is that about where we left off? Because we just went to go into the caves.
Yep. So the next morning, you guys all went into the cave. You guys met Sakun. You guys got those water backpacks.
Right.
We
which
started running around,
used
killing
compression.
environmentals, spraying water, collecting flowers.
Yeah, because you guys got to the second room before we actually started recording, and you guys met Sakun. You had him kind of draw out, which is like a really burned up, like up to the elbows, burned human. There was a bunch of like burned elves and stuff from them opening a new portion of the cave.
There was humans and goblins.
Yeah, and you only healed the humans.
Yeah, I healed only the humans. I did not heal the goblins.
Hey,
there's literally a race war going on. Yeah, kind of am. Just a little. I mean, like, we have half elves and an elf with us, and I have nothing against these guys.
Yeah, there's
goblins and
enough
goblins.
equality going around. But
I have an elf friend. I'm not racist.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's on the internet.
That's on the internet.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Well,
ELM.
What?
ELM.
Oh my god. This is why it's not for kids.
And
So-
on that note,
On
Yeah.
that note, I think it's time we.
Yeah.
Wait, quit while
And,
we're behind.
Yeah. Quit while we're behind.
yeah,
So that is a recap of what is common knowledge from our Zero sessions, what everyone looks like, episodes 1 through 10. I'm kind of thinking that we should start doing like a summary of every
Yeah.
episode, but like with what Dandy just did. Like how we want like a recap of the guy from Ant-Man who's just like, so this one guy.
This one
We
guy.
want that for like the whole like Avengers thing.
So how's your wife doing? Oh, she left me. And my dad died.
Yeah.
And my grandpa
My mom
is
got
gone as well.
Yeah.
But I got this van.
We're gonna need we'll set up like a timer. He's got like a minute and a half to explain what happened in
And I
an
just
8-hour
have to
episode.
Dandy explain it.
Yeah,
That's great.
that would be a great like
Dandy
short
explains.
YouTube
Yeah,
shorts.
Dandy
Sure.
explains
Yeah.
episode 15.
Yeah, I want to do that now. All right, so
the alien
Alright.
freak.
that's what we got for now.
If you guys stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Yep.
you actually like watch this and watch the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I left 45 minutes ago, so those two are not me.
That's okay. I
We
wasn't
had
even
5
here.
at one point. I saw
Yeah,
5,
we had
and I was
5.
like,
That was
"Woo!"
awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. And yeah, don't forget D Machine DMs. It's under the same name on the YouTube channel. Give us a follow, a subscribe, like, comment, tell us how terrible we are.
Hit the bell notifications to know when we hop on.
Yep. And we'll see you guys around the table.
We need to wear more colors.
I'm
We're
a-
so monotone. It's all grays, whites, and
Okay, we're not monotone. We're only okay. One of us is monotone when Ryan's not here. Otherwise, Ryan is the most monotone person around the table.
True. Until next time.
I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted.
Do that for more than 5 seconds, we'll get struck.
Yeah.
Well, we're not affiliated yet, so it doesn't matter. What money can it take from us?
Oh my gosh.
Bum bum ba da bum bum ba da bum.
no.
I'm pretty sure we could still get sued.
Sue us for what?
I don't think we need to be affiliated to get sued.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right. Good night, everyone.
This is all getting recorded.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
good night, guys.